He's coming.
Chris?
You remember us?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Hi.
Oh,
Just
Mr.
took
Pugh.
a moment there.
You look like different.
They,
Oh,
just
Mr.
took
Pugh.
a moment there.
You look like different.
They, get the haircut every 2 months. I was told just to buzz trim, lift everything off, and all that. So,
I think you have a...
yes, they have like a little single blade razor, so it's kind of, you don't like go past the stubble. It's a little single blade razor, so it's kind of, you don't like go past the stubble. It's just gotta go with that.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. How about you guys?
Good, good.
I did not expect to see this. That's for sure.
Surprised. Well, let me put some fears aside. Surprised. Well, let me put some fears aside. We're not here for what you might think we might be here for.
But they didn't know what this said computer on. I was like, I didn't know how to computer on.
Without computers.
Exactly.
So you remember, I talked to you, Tammy talked to you, Dave talked to you. We're all. So you remember, I talked to you, Tammy talked to you, Dave talked to you. We're all from Colorado. And so the last time we talked to you was a different situation, right? Our investigation was open and your case was open. That's completely different now. So your case is completely closed. Nothing about what we're going to talk about today. So your case is completely closed. Nothing about what we're going to talk about today has anything to do with an open investigation. So we're not here to get more charges on you or get any statements from you that are going to jam you up anymore. Right? That's all done. So all of our cases are closed and the court case is closed. There's nothing that we're going to talk about today that's going to get you any type of more trouble at all. And so I wanted to make sure you knew that's not why we're here.
Okay.
But why we are here. So the three of us work from three different agencies, right? Quite a bit different. CBI, FBI, and Frederick. The things that happened with you kind of all brought us together. And as the months have passed on, since everything happened, we just keep in touch with each other and we keep talking to each other. And we've all separately kind of said, did Chris seem unique to you? Me and Tammy have talked about this, Dave and I have talked about this. Did Chris is in that conversation, we can't quite put our finger on it, right? We think that your life leading up to all of the things that happened were very interesting to us. And for me personally, I don't know if you remember, but one of the last things you told me was, hey, Graham, I'm sorry that I started lying to you. And that stuck with me for the last couple months. I've never ever worked a case like this where someone told me that ever. And so as I walked away, I thought, Chris is different, which is a little bit unique in that regard. So in talking with Tammy and talking with Dave, I said, what did you feel like when it all went down? When we were there, when we were toying on our own different wording, said it all happened a bit too quick for us, right? So when we saw you last, we were talking and talking and talking about your family, about your parents, about everyone. And then the next thing you know, for me and Tammy and for Dave, all of a sudden some patrol officers came in and arrested you. And that was far quicker than we had happened. And you understand why that happened, and we understand why that happened. But it left us with 1,000 questions that we didn't get to ask. And then even more importantly, I think it probably left you with 1,000 things you didn't get to talk about with us. I don't know if you feel that way or not, but and so that's why we're here today. And so that's why we're here today. We wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit more about everything. I think there's a lot of things that you didn't get to talk about. And so, that's why we're here. That's why we're here. And it sticks with me that to this day, there's not one person that's told me. I saw it coming. I knew Chris was like that. I knew it. Not one person. So it's interesting to me, right? Not one. It's interesting to me, right? Not one. So we want to talk a little bit about that. Some of the people that we work with, your family, Shanann's family, have said, if you get to talk to Chris, would you tell him something for me? So we have that to talk about today, and it's good. And if you get to talk to Chris, would you tell him something for me? So we have that to talk about today, and it's good. I think you'll like it. I think it will give you some closure. And so really that's why we're here. Are you available to talk to us?
Definitely.
Okay. So off the bat, if you have any questions, just tell us. So off the bat, if you have any questions, just tell us. If there's something that you don't want to talk about, that's okay. We might press you a little bit. Okay, we might say, well, do you mind if we just maybe then ask one question? Something makes you uncomfortable, just tell us. If we need to take any bathroom breaks, you can take bathroom breaks. And we'll take bathroom breaks and water breaks ourselves too. So then, is there anything about your schedule today that makes it that you can't talk to us?
No, there's like a pass for this and the AM and the PM.
Okay.
Yeah, they reserved the room the whole day.
Oh, okay.
That's just what they do.
Okay. I didn't know if that was like two separate. Yeah, I think lunch is like 11, nothing counts like 12, 15. So.
Okay. So in general, how is it here?
It's a lot different than Colorado.
Is it?
It's
Good or bad?
It's better, I think. It's here. I'm actually around other people. I mean, in Colorado, it was just like just telling me
From other people?
Oh,
Really?
they're just telling me like how I should kill myself and like what they're gonna do to me and just like all that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
So this is a lot different because I mean, people here don't seem to. It's not like they don't care, but it's just kind of like they don't like it. They just that was it. They're just like they had 1 second on hold with me. It would have been
Really?
they were,
Gee, man. Must be out there.
out of like what kind of jail. I don't know what it was like in DOC there, but like they had to lock down the jail for me to walk out.
You were completely separated from anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Like I didn't see anybody else there. Like I was in a cell next to somebody, but like I never saw them.
Yeah.
How did they know who you were?
I don't know. I just they make phone calls in there too.
Oh, okay.
They make phone calls in there too.
Oh, okay.
And they got the newspaper in there before I got in there. So.
Yeah. Have you been able to talk with family?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like we get from 6 p.m. to 7:30. That's on my unit's timeout. So we get to use the phone at that point in time. That's on my unit's timeout. So we get to use the phone at that point in time.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And do they charge you for it, or?
Oh, it's just like it's like securities.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And how do you make money to pay for that?
They put money on the phone.
Oh.
So if I call, like if I was like to dial somebody's number, they have to have like a phone account set up.
Oh.
If I was like to dial somebody's number, they have to have like a phone account set up.
Oh.
Otherwise, it just says restricted.
And then so who you call pays for it?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. You've been able to talk like family members and parents and all
Yeah,
that?
my mom and dad, my sister.
Okay. Good. Is that a good thing?
That's a good thing.
Good. Good, man.
Yeah, if they don't hear from me, they're like, oh, what's wrong? What's wrong?
Oh.
Good thing.
Good. Good, man.
Yeah, if they don't hear from me, they're like, oh, what's wrong? What's wrong?
Oh. Good. And how was it with them?
So far, so good.
Yeah. Yeah. It was hard to hear you say that.
I didn't know if they were gonna, what they were gonna say. So,
Yeah.
they were gonna, what they were gonna say.
So, yeah. And so, yeah. I really appreciate what they said. I don't know about you.
I definitely was, I didn't expect them to be there. I know they were there on the 6th, but I didn't expect them to fly back, and I wanted to fly back to that.
Yeah.
I wanted to fly back to that.
Yeah. And then all what your mom said. Good. Well, so we have 1,000 questions. I'm sure you do too. Do you care if we start, or do you have any questions for us?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So one of the things that we're battling with is, and I heard that this was a national story.
After a little while, I didn't talk to my parents while I was in Colorado.
Okay.
Because, I mean, last time I came home, I had no phone calls, no letters, no nothing.
Okay.
So, like, I made one phone call when I was in the segregation area there, but my dad didn't, if it was Colorado, yeah, so he didn't answer. But other than that,
Okay.
I didn't talk to anybody, but from what some of the deputies were saying, that, or my attorney team coming in and said, this is, they've got people from Australia, England, and all kinds of people trying to figure out So,
Did they send you anything?
I got letters, but I could keep them like with me, so like I could read them like on my hour out. But it's like I got a bunch of just letters that had no return address, stuff that was just not very good letters.
Yeah. So, okay. They came from a weird perspective, didn't they? From what we've heard.
Definitely, there was like visit me, and there was just a lot of people like writing out like bleed through markers saying, like you're in the monster, all kinds of stuff.
Well, we're going to talk about some hard issues today, but I don't intend to take you to a dark place today.
Okay.
I hope that when we're done, you'll feel better. We're going to talk about, obviously, what happened to your family, and so that's going to be hard to talk about. I appreciate anything you can tell me about it. If you need to take time out, if you need to get a tissue, that's fine, right? I think it'll be very good for you. It'll be good for us. And so one of the reasons I asked about that national attention is we have a lot of interest, and then us personally as law enforcement, we got so many people who claim to have known you, claim to have been with you, dated you, slept with you, and 99 times out of 100, they were just crazy people, right? And so maybe that's a good place.
John Walsh, told me about some dude from Wyoming. Yeah, that guy. That blew my mind. I was like, who is this guy?
And who told you about that?
Attorney John Walsh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you mind if we talk about him?
Right.
So Trent, in summary, Trent came in and said, met you online on a dating app, had a few, casual but quick sexual encounters with you. And let me be very clear. Not only are we not here to jam you up today, we're also not here to judge you. And if there is anything like way worse, way different, so if it's true, I hope that you can just casually say, yeah, I mean, this happened. It wasn't as bad as he said, but maybe this happened. So his story was met online, met you, and it was a time when you were experimenting with naked men. And so he said, went to an apartment, had a couple of meetings in a parking lot, and that was basically it. Any of that sound right? Okay.
I've never met the guy.
Okay. All right.
And he talked about being in your truck with your girls, like the whole 9 yards. So.
Okay.
All right. I've never even been to Wyoming, let alone driven up there to swimming, let alone driven up there to see somebody.
Yeah. And so this is maybe a weird question for you. Do you have any gay experience?
No.
Okay. Any interest?
No.
Okay. Never had a time, experimented, wondered?
No.
Okay. Is it possible that he found you instead of you finding him?
No.
Okay. Is it possible that he found you instead of you finding him?
From what John told me, he found me on like a WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I don't even have that app.
Okay.
Maybe he had my phone. So
Okay.
He could probably saw what app I had. But I've never even heard of the app. But apparently, he told me met him through a heard of the app. But apparently, he told me met him through a rehab center or something.
Is that what he said?
No, that was another guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It was totally. I had no idea.
So did you see a picture of him on the news or anything?
John showed me a picture of him.
Okay.
He's like, this guy. I'm like, he was. John showed me a picture of him.
Okay.
He's like, this guy. I'm like, he was. John was kind of, making fun. I was like, you don't know him? Sure. I'm like,
So you saw it and you're like, no way.
Yeah, I was just
Big
like,
lips, did you see the giant lips?
Yeah, I was just like, I have no clue what this guy is.
And he's somewhat memorable. I mean,
Yeah.
if you met him or talked to him or got to know him, you might remember. And he's somewhat memorable. I mean,
Yeah.
if you met him or talked to him or got to know him, you might remember. He was kind of meek,
Yeah.
but also a little bit flamboyant. He did fake lips, or not fake lips, but injections. He was very into skincare and makeup, and he mentioned that one of the times, just as a gift, he got him some skincare products. Does any of that sound familiar?
No.
Okay. You can imagine all the stuff we're dealing with. Okay, so that's one. Trent Bolts. There was another gal that you were dealing with.
Amanda McMahon. Have you ever heard that name? No.
Oh, you should see a picture of her too.
Yeah, he had
Turn up the side. Is that look familiar?
that's the same picture he showed me on in the cell phone. I was looking at it like, who's that? He's like, oh, you don't know her either?
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Yeah.
They said it was like a Chick-fil-A parking lot, rendezvous or something. Only one, the one Chick-fil-A caught out, that was the one in Broomfield, Highway 7.
Okay.
That was it.
Okay. Do you feel comfortable enough today to tell us if there were other people?
Yeah, it was just the gold.
Okay.
Yesterday.
And that was it?
Yeah, that was it.
All right. As these people have come out, for the most part, they're just crazy people who want attention. And so, but when that does happen, it does make us think, there may have been others. And so Nicole was the only one.
That was the only one.
Was there ever like a one-night stand with someone else just out of the blue and one and done? Okay. All right. So walk me through it, because that was one of the things we never really got to ask you about. We just kind of skipped on and talked about where the girls were. But so what happened there?
So it was probably around June 1st or something. That's when I first met her. And it was just like a work conversation. Actually, met them, I was messing up, and then I took it to her like, hey, what's going on with this? How do I fix it? And, after that, we just ran into each other a few times in the office, and I think it was probably the fourth time meeting. She had asked me, because like when we were talking back and forth, I would say and stuff like that, and then she's like, what's all this lease like? I'm like, did it on my phone, showed her a picture, like, my girl's on the phone. She's like, oh, okay. She's like, so, I'm like, yeah. I didn't want to ring at work because I got lost, so get refitted, like I lost all that weight. So, but
You lost so much weight that your fingers lost weight.
it was literally like I was out in the snow one time. I was panicking trying to find a leg can't work. So. But so after that, she left me alone for a couple days, and she texted me outside the field. And then after that, we just kept texting back and forth, and it was just it's like she used to work in an oil rig out in Dakota, I think. And we just kind of, day just kind of went to a different level, and then I never thought I would ever go to that level, but she was talking about meeting up after we got back from San Diego. Yeah, we were in San Diego from the 22nd to the 26th of June. We got back, and
How did you guys meet up?
at a park in Thornton. Yeah, Thornton somewhere. And after that, we just kept seeing each other pretty much the whole month of July.
So let me ask you this, and you tell me if I'm wrong. When you guys were meeting, it was just kind of very initiatory, like flirting at first? Okay. From both sides?
Yeah, it was just kind of like feeling each other out, just feeling at them.
And so, texts, any calls?
More near the end of June.
Okay.
More near the end of June.
Okay. And what makes you remember that it's June that it happened?
Because we called each other before I left to go to San Diego.
Oh, okay. All right. At first, did you think something might happen?
I just thought it was just flirting. I didn't think it was actually like something that would actually happen. I just thought it was just flirting. I didn't think it was actually like something that would actually happen.
Yeah. Well, it's totally natural, right? I mean, everyone kind of flirts at work, right? Because the relationship between men and women is different. So if you're working with a girl at work, it's just kind of natural to flirt.
I wish I was out in the field more, so I was in the office. Those that month, but
Yeah.
I was out in the field more, so I was in the office. Those that month, but
Yeah. I can kind of see it in your action. That's kind of where the path started, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if I was like, because when I went from like a rover to a field coordinator, like I would spend more time with a morning time in the office to a field coordinator. Like I would spend more time with a morning time in the office trying to get everything like situated where we're going to go, and everything like that. If I was a rover, I'd be more out in the field instead of like coming to the office like for more than an hour.
Right.
I just gave me more time to run into her, pretty much.
Yeah, right.
I just gave me more time to run into her, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. What did she know about you? Did she know you were married first?
She did, once I showed her the pictures on my phone.
Yeah.
Like, the home screen picture.
Was your wife in the picture, or was it just your phone?
It was just my girls right there, but my wife was the lock screen.
Oh.
So she knew I was married and had kids.
Okay.
Were you aware that she said she didn't know you were married? What did you think about that?
I figured it was like, just trying to save face, trying to, Just trying to, and something my sister said, it was like together at this time. She phrased it a different way, but just kind of like, it's like ground control. She's trying to control everything that's going on around her. I'm sure she got bombarded by all kinds of different sides from the media and everything. So,
Did you talk to her at all?
I'm hoping she hasn't like,
And are you not allowed to talk to her?
I would hope that.
Okay. No one told you that, though?
No, I mean, I would expect, like, I thought, like, in Colorado, it said, like, a DOC list of, if you're on, like, a victim list, you can't call anybody.
Oh, right.
But here, I'm not sure if that's the same, but I have to talk to my sister.
Do you wish you could talk to her?
Maybe once, just to say, okay, just once. Just to say, hey, like, I'm sorry this all happened, I'm sorry, I'm not sure, like, what happened, like, afterwards, like, what you went through, like, if you had, like, counseling, if you're like, I'm sorry, and that's just something that you saw like happening, or happening to somebody else either.
Would you be alright if we told her that?
That's fine.
Do you want us to? Do you want us not to?
And if she would want to get listen, I'm not sure if someone contacted her, but I'm sure she'd answer your phone call more than
Oh, so you're trying to take a call with her?
yeah, 'cause I remember her phone number, but after that they figured out, I guess, where she lived. They left a call, business card there. And she just, pretty much after like the fifth attempt, she said stop.
Yeah.
Fifth attempt, she said stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, she's bombarded with something else.
And hopefully it's calmed down since, but I'm sure, like, I just hope she can, like, I'm not, there's, like, normalcy for her. She can, like, I'm not, there's, like, normalcy for her, since she's on the outside, but I'm hoping it can get that way at some point. I'm not sure if she had to leave Colorado or not, but I'm sure, like, that would have been hard if she did. Knowing a darker was a dream job, so that's the one thing I always like to ask. Knowing a darker was a dream job, so that's the one thing I always like to ask. My attorney's just like, did she have to leave? Like, did she have to do anything at work? Because that was one thing. So she always told me that was her dream job. So.
Oh, really? Where does she leave?
Oh, like an oil company in the dark, I was like, I mean, unless you work for like BP or like an oil company in the dark, I was like, I mean, unless you work for like BP or like Phillips or something.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And the dark, I was like,
Like big leagues.
Yeah.
Can I ask kind of a tough question? Did you love it?
I felt like it was true.
No.
I felt like it was true.
No. I think so too. I think it was the same for her. No. Okay. Tell us about the time you spent with her.
Felt like it was, I think, like when you said, like, more like a shy guy, it's kind of like I've never, like, been pursued by anybody before. It's kind of like I was the one, trying to pursue, because, like, when me and Shanann met, it was like, she was always, like, pushing me away, kind of, like,
She was sick for a while, right?
I mean, she had medications and stuff. It was, like, I guess I wasn't her type.
You weren't her
I
type?
wasn't her type, because, like, she told me, like, when she first, because we had met.
She told you that? You're not.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, it was like, when we first met, like, we was at a movie theater.
Dressed like shit, weren't you?
I didn't know, like, that code
You want to have any games?
So she was saying,
Whatever's comfortable.
Shorts and
I was
shorts, right?
I should have known the doorman, was in a suit, and I was just like, it was in Charlotte, it was called the Epicenter, and apparently they give you, like, champagne and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, this is a fancy date night theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Movie theater?
I think he came like he was going to
Like I was,
Cinemax.
Like a
I was
play?
going to a bonfire or something.
It was like a play theater?
No, it was like you like
Movie
supposed
theater?
to have like the Jack and Coke inside the theater and just
Yeah.
sit there and just whatever. But like yeah, when she first saw me, she was like, I should probably just turn and talk to the bartender a little more. Like, no, I'm not. You're me. But yeah, like it was. I was like persistent, trying to pursue something. I liked her. Even on the first date, like I couldn't even eat anything. Really, I was just like, I was so nervous. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, she was just like, chowing down. And she was like, "You look like a bird." I'm like, "Oh." And she talked to my parents like, months later. She's like, "This guy just never ate." He's like, "This guy eats like a trash disposal. This trash disposal." I was like, "No, this guy just never ate." He's like, "This guy eats like a trash disposal. This trash disposal." I was like, "No, not around me." I was like, "No, I'm just nervous." I was just like, I'm always shaking and everything. But yeah, I was always pursuing her, and then just like finally, I grew onto her. Like, I would always like go to medications and stuff. I grew onto her. Like, I would always like go to medications and stuff. I would always like get like 8 bottles of medication, so I would always get like her day and night and kind of like put them all in that little flip open box, all that kind of stuff. And I would always be around her. I even went to her colonoscopy. And she said after that she knew that was the kind of to her colonoscopy. And she said after that she knew that was the kind of the keeper. It's like, who goes to a colonoscopy after 3 months with somebody? Right. Well, she asked if she needed a ride. I'm like, yeah. She's like, "You want to go colonoscopy with me?" I'm like, "Sure, why not?" Like, even sat with her while she drank that nasty with me. I'm like, "Sure, why not?" Like, even sat with her while she drank that nasty stuff all day.
That's a good test.
that clear stuff that doesn't really taste clear. Yeah, but it was. I mean, it felt like it was a great relationship. It felt like it was a great relationship. Everything was great.
Now you're talking about with Messenger?
No, with and like the first year, like, my parents never. I don't know. My mom was always kind of hesitant. Because I never had a girlfriend in high school, so it's kind of like she never like really saw me like.
Oh, interesting. So she's kind of watching her baby walk out a little bit.
Yeah, because when I turned 18, I graduated. I never moved back.
Okay.
At home. So my sister moved back to work. So,
how old were you when you met Shan?
So no serious girlfriends before that?
Nothing more than like 6 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was some girls here and there, but there's nothing more like. The last girlfriend I had before Shan, she was just actually got divorced. She never did that, but her divorce it seemed like she went on someone else. I'm like, oh,
You're the rebound guy?
The rebound guy.
pretty much. But,
Been there.
that's how it goes.
Would you say that in your relationships with women, it seems to me, and you tell me if I'm wrong, it seems to me like you're attracted maybe more dominant?
Just reserved. I mean, I just kind of like go with the flow type. And like, Stan usually made all the decisions, it seemed like, so.
I get that, I'm the same. Yeah. I don't know what it is.
I don't think that's very good.
So then, and one of the reasons we're here is we just keep telling ourselves, Chris just does not fit the mold. Chris is not, like it just blows us away what happened, right? And so we will do a little bit of bouncing back and forth, and that's really just to get to know you a little bit better. And you never really got that chance to me.
Like 3 or 4 times probably.
So then do you call her Nikki or Nicole?
I would call her Nikki.
Okay.
I know there's so many Nickies and Nicoles in this.
Right.
I got confused.
So we'll call her Nikki. So then with Nikki, was it different?
It just seemed like it never happened. Like she'd actually like ask me like my opinion on a lot of things, and just like what I wanted to do, and just kind of like, okay.
That was new, wasn't it?
Very new.
That's fascinating to me. And so did it feel more like an equal partnership, or?
It seemed like it.
Yeah. Okay. You guys talk about it. Would you ask to go somewhere, or would she say, I want to go somewhere? Was it
the first time we went out, it was to the movie over at the Orchard, there's an orchard over there, and I asked her, like, hey, you want to go see this movie? And like, yeah, I'm like, okay, cool. And we got there, it was sold out, and, normally we walk around, just talk, and, okay.
Oh, wow.
So that was different, and, and she wanted to go to the car museum, Shelby Museum in Boulder. I've never been there, and I was
That's right up your alley.
yeah, like I was just like, that was awesome just to walk around cars for like an hour or so. And then, you know, I've been to a drag race since 2008. And that was in Charlotte. Okay. And we're going to a drag strip over there. It's like the NHRA, the top little money car stuff like me and my dad used to go there like all the time. And then like we went to camping Sand Dunes National Park, and I'd never been camping. I always wanted to do it. Thought it was, she'd done it like countless times. So
Oh, really? Okay. She's outdoorsy?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess every time like she'd need to clear her head, she'd just go by herself. Just go somewhere.
Oh.
You know, I'm like she'd need to clear her head, she'd just go by herself. Just go somewhere.
Oh.
You know.
So she's a completely new type of person in a relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What were you thinking this whole time? Like, what were you thinking this whole time? Like,
in the back of my head, I was telling myself, what are you doing? Like, you know, every time, you know, I open up my phone, I can see pictures, like, of my wife and my kids, and just like, what am I doing? And then, like, every time I was with her, it seemed like, I didn't think. It seemed like it was like a blanket over my face.
oh.
And it was just, like, every time I look back on it, like, you know, like, I have pictures of my wife and kids and myself, and, like, every night, you know, or every morning, every night, you know, just, and, like, every night, you know, or every morning, every night, you know, just, you know, talk to them, you know, say, like, oh, God, like, this book, I used to read for CC, and I remember that book, so I read it to them, like, every night. And like there's some scripture and stuff that I read to them like every night. And like there's some scripture and stuff that I read to them. So I just try to think back. Like I wish I'm just like I wish that blinder wasn't on my head, wasn't in my eyes. That would have seen what was going on. Like, you know, I was having. Everybody said, "Oh, you're just out there having." No, it wasn't like that. But it seemed like that's what it looks like. You know, when you're going, you know. Going to camping, going to drag race, doing all that other stuff that you have fun doing, but you're with somebody else. It's not your family. It just didn't seem right. And along with her, it just didn't seem like I could even see that anymore. At that time, at home, just to really think about anything. Because literally, I didn't, like, I was only at home from, like, when I got home from work. I worked out, I ate dinner, and then I went over to her house. Like, I never slept in my house. Like, the whole month of July.
At home, and then you were at her house. Was that while she was gone? Oh, okay. So you weren't even at your house.
No.
This all happened so quickly, didn't it?
It was insane, quickly. Like, I didn't, like, she even told me, like, she would never, in, like, a normal relationship, she would never have somebody over at her house, like, more than, like, once or twice a week, but she felt like she wanted me over there. It's like, that's what was different, like, she wanted me to be there. But I just wish that all that would just go away. I just wish I almost like I know it's hard, I know it's wrong to say I wish I never met somebody, but I wish I, you know, maybe met her at work and then just kept it that way.
But yeah, look at some people, when this happens, you're like, well, if it wasn't this time, it would have been next time, or it wouldn't have been the next time. It just wouldn't have happened with you, would it? And it happened so quickly that you tell me if I'm wrong. You're not the type of guy to take control sometimes when you need to. Yeah, it seems like that's just what happened.
Yeah, I didn't take control of the situation. It was like the situation controlled me.
Right, it just happened. I get that, man. I'm somewhat passive myself, and it's like, you know, there's situations where I'm like, well, why did I let that keep going? You know,
I don't know why I was like,
why did I let that keep going? You know,
I don't know why it was like a roller coaster ride that I just kept punching a ticket on and saying, okay, get up.
yeah. Can we talk about the hardest subject? It's when we were talking, the last time we talked about was where the girls were. But we never really got to talk about that night.
So nothing.
What happened?
So nothing really happened that night. It was in the morning.
Okay.
It was, me and Jeanette. She got home like at 2 o'clock. And, I felt her get into bed. And I just felt like I didn't really, but I just wanted to make sure I looked at my phone. I was too glad to make sure she was okay. She's in there. And I could kind of feel it kind of stirring around a little bit. I just had a feeling that she knew, like, what was going on. Because, obviously, I didn't use, I didn't have a gift card, that I've got, and I've used my actual credit card, and I kind of just felt like she knew what was going on. And she started rubbing her hand on me, and we ended up having sex, but,
Interesting. Okay.
yeah, because when we talked, when I woke up later on in the morning, I pretty much, told her, I didn't think it was going to work anymore. And she was like, what happened? What was last night? So I figured that must be a test after I've gone through everything in my head. And, to get off of her. And she's like, I knew there was somebody else. I knew there was somebody else. I knew there was somebody else. I couldn't just say, yes, there is somebody else, but then that you never want to see it again. You never want to see it again. Get off me. Don't hurt. Because when I climbed in bed, that was pretty much on top, pretty much like straddling her. Yeah. She thought I was gonna hurt her or her behavior or something. So because she knew that something had happened.
I know it's hard, but do you mind if we talk just a tiny bit deeper about that? So she comes home, she touches you, you guys have sex, it seems like she's one of her tests, which I understand,
Or something Cole Atkinson or Cassie probably told her.
That's what I was thinking, right? They talked about it during that whole weekend.
More than likely, that's what my parents told me. There was going through text messages. It's all pretty much they all kind of just told her with somebody else. They all kind of just told her with somebody else.
Yeah. And she spent a lot of time with the gals. That's what they did around the whole weekend is talk about it, give her advice. I think that's what we found from, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So she comes home, you guys have sex, and then you fall asleep between then and going to work. You guys have sex, and then you fall asleep between then and going to work.
Yes.
Okay. So then at some point, does she wake you up, or did you wake up?
Not a lot of much.
Oh, okay. And you're going to work out. But then that's when she started wanting to talk more. She was pretty mad. Wanted to talk more. She was pretty mad.
It was, I had already kind of knew that. Using that credit card,
Was that intentional?
Yeah.
I had no other way to do it.
Oh.
I used, the way to do it.
Oh.
I used, because I got these anarcho gift cards from, doing good stuff at work and stuff like that. I'd use them all.
Oh. Was part of you just like, screw it, whatever, I don't care. I'm using this card.
Part of me just wants to say, Nick, use this card. Part of me just wants to say, Nick, you can pay for this. But
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Even I think my attorney said she even noticed I used a different card, like a blue card. Maybe she thought, I felt comfortable enough just using the bank account or something. But, going to Rocky, I told you guys. It was just even, it felt like, looking back at everything, just reading scripture more and more now, I can see, God gave me opportunities to get out. Even my friend Jeremy Lindstrom, he even invited me to go Saturday night. And he was like, hey, you said we're going to a Rocky game, you want to go to me with the Bronco game and watch the Arizona Cardinals? I was like, in my mind, it was like, go. Just say, hey, I can't find a babysitter. Bye.
Nikki?
Yeah. And maybe that would have been like, her head goes up, maybe it just like goes different directions. That was kind of like my last opportunity to kind of get out of it seems like this. But I wish I would have just said, yeah, let's go. And I think that would have just put me on a different trajectory.
So then,
She said it to me before.
yeah, that's kind of hard to hear.
Yeah, because she said to me before she went to Arizona. She was like, I wasn't really sleeping in the bedroom. I was sleeping on the couch or in the basement bed or something. And like she had slammed the door. I'm never gonna see the kids again. Something like that.
Did she get fiery like that? And that was a time before, or was that on the night that happened?
No, it was right back in North Carolina.
Oh,
It was just like one of those. It was just a fiery argument that I never raised my voice to her or anything. And I just got mad and I slammed the door. Should have slammed the door.
Is that when you were in North Carolina that last week?
No, it was like
Previous to
it
that?
was like 2010, 2011.
Oh.
It was like early. In her old house.
before kids?
Yes.
Were you dating or were you married at that point?
Dating.
Oh,
Yeah, it was just like I don't remember
married at that point.
dating.
Oh,
Yeah, it was just like I don't remember what it was about. I think some girl maybe texted me like from my past or something, and like I was just like, this. And she was like, don't have that happen again. And I'm just like, the heck, can't have friends?
right.
Like females? Like I don't even talk this with men anymore. Just like, the heck, can't have friends?
Right.
Like females? Like I don't even talk this with men anymore.
Right.
And I was just like, no.
Was she fiery? Did she have that Italian blood that her mom has?
Lord, yes.
Was she always like that, or was she? Did she snap at things?
She would snap at me.
Was she? Did she snap at things?
She would snap at me, but you could tell, like, something really irked her a little bit.
Yeah.
It would come out.
0 to 100 type thing, or what?
0 to 200.
Oh, interesting.
She gets acclimated about something. She's like,
Oh, interesting.
she gets acclimated about something. She's like, all right, it's gonna happen.
Well, that's why she was probably so successful at Thrive, right?
Oh yeah, like she had done a couple other like direct sales business, but this one was just like it was different.
Why?
This one, like, I think she had done like origami hull and I think she had done like origami hull and like something called like It Works, and then like other couple other things like some bags and stuff like that. The supplement stuff, but just because it worked with her, it worked with me. She's like, okay, I can kind of like use this for a while. Like she can see how like people are above her, how it was helping them, and then it was just like trickle down effect. And it was like a good system about like commission wise and everything was just she could use all the business IQ she has from running those cell phone shops. She business minded. She knows how to do accounting for it, like back of her hand. So it all just like fell into place with all that.
So then on that night, was it just a new type of fight?
It was
Never had, or what?
it just felt like I don't know, it was more anger than anything else. Like there was emotion to it at first, and it just felt like it was just anger. It was just like like there was no love there. It was kind of like what we were saying, what she was saying. It was just like it's almost like we knew like something was coming out of us.
Really? Anger from you or anger from her?
I think it was more anger from me and more like desperation from her to. She wanted it. She knew something wasn't right. Like, like when the whole thing with my parents happened, with my parents called me like gay.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatnot.
The incident with...
Oh, with her family?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your wife's from
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody called me nothing.
I haven't heard that.
I hadn't heard that either.
That's just what people are calling it.
Yeah.
But that was like another out. Like, maybe I could have just like stopped everything with my key and just kind of concentrated on helping. Like and I'll probably ask my 10-year-old nephew probably to tell me what actually happened.
Well, and they both have their feelings for good reasons, and they both didn't see it the other person's way.
Yeah, and like maybe I didn't talk to my parents from then on until like August 6th. And like, you know,
Oh, okay.
because like, Janelle was like, you're not talking to them, you're not calling them, you're not doing anything.
Is that what she said?
Yeah. And Cece's birthday was 17th, but I think the actual birthday party was like a couple days after.
In August?
July.
July.
Yeah. And I posted on Facebook about, you know, allergies and stuff like that. She had to pay, and I was like, no, I just can't do it anymore. It's like, it's...
You perceive that as her taking a shot type thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
She always says she never, you know, put those posts directed at anybody, but she had a method.
You read them, you know who it is.
Yeah. But I wish I could have just took more time just to fix that. Cause like I wanted my parents to be involved. Like since you know the whole wedding thing, and then up to that, it was like, you know, my mom, my sister were always like, you know, combating with Shan, combating with them. My dad was always cool. You know, what I'm trying to do. Chicks,
I
man.
love your dad.
Ronnie's the best.
I
So,
love your dad.
I'm sorry, keep going.
That's cool. I just wish I could have, like, just when we were at the beach in August, like my dad was supposed to take through that whole week off just so we could see the kids and like see me down at my sister's house or something. And then, but we just pretty much spent 5 days at the beach and Shannon like booked it, so like, I mean, if it's, I don't want to say like punishment for them not to see the kids, but like I wanted them to see it, I wish I could have fixed it all. I wish I could have fixed all that. I even like when I was at the beach, I told Shanann that it was more like what was going on was more like I feel like, you know, 'cause my dad's here, I feel like I've lost like something in my life. I haven't been talking to him for 3 weeks. I haven't been seeing the kids for 2 weeks, you know, FaceTime. I haven't been talking to him for 3 weeks. I haven't been seeing the kids for 2 weeks, you know, FaceTime or anything. And I wanted them to be able to have that relationship with me. And she was pretty much gung ho, like she tried to with my daughter, giving her, you know, I don't think she gave it to me. I don't think she gave it to me.
And that, was that her stance, is that your mom...
Put something in front of Cece.
Like to kill her, or
No, just like
care.
like she thinks that allergies and like this state of age is like people think, oh, that allergies and like this state of age is like people think, oh,
like it's made up.
Like it'll be fine. They'll just have a rash. It'll be fine. I've seen Cece, you know, like the first time, well, I seen a picture of her in cashew the first time. I looked good. She had kiwi. The second time, and the same thing happened. And I know it's real.
Do you know it's serious?
And I know it's real.
Do you know it's serious? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like, it wasn't like her throat like closed up, but she broke out in this whole body rash. It looked really crazy looking. And luckily, like, you know, nothing with her throat like happened. But
So did that make you angry to your mom for doing that?
yeah, I mean, I just pay attention. Just because another kid can have something doesn't mean another kid can have something. Because like we were at that birthday party at Jeremy's that Sunday, you know, they had this cake there. But like Bella wanted it so bad. I'm like, can't give it to you because Cece can't have it. She's like, yeah, okay. And all the other kids were like, they can't have like one of those frozen pops or something. But you know, it's just like she had to learn that just because one kid can have something and there's another kid that can't have it for a legitimate reason, like she couldn't have done it. But you know, that's the kind of talk I had with her when Shannon called me. I think it was maybe like middle of July or talked to them for a while, and then they're just like, you know, they just couldn't deal with her anymore. Shannon just kind of like, you know, they like flipped out. My nephew told Bella to go hide behind the curtain because I don't think your mom was going to let you come over here again or something like that.
So it got heated.
Oh, it was bad.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a last straw.
They were really fun.
Yeah, because Cece and Bella and my niece and nephew were there.
Okay.
How did Shanann find out about the ice cream thing?
Because Shanann was there, and I guess they were all sitting on this couch. It was kind of like a U, and my niece went, and she'd been there.
So it's not like your mom gave it to her? Like she
Oh,
got
no,
it
no, she went in the freezer, got it, went out, and sat beside Cece, and started eating. But like, it's just a matter of like, Cece could go like that. Now, I don't know what would happen if she just got it on her hand.
Right.
But like, I know in like the prick test, on the back, like the prick test, on the back. It's like a rope.
So were they staying there at your parents' house during that time? 'Cause
Yeah, it was, so they would go from my, Sandy and Frank's house
Yeah.
for like a few days or 5 days, and then go to my mom and dad's house for a couple of days.
Okay.
Back and forth.
Okay. So it happened during that
Mom
time?
and dad's house for a couple of days.
Okay.
Back and forth.
Okay. So it happened during that time when they were there, yeah? Okay.
So there are so many things that happened out there. They just were little tiny ingredients to this recipe.
Yeah, nothing like,
Nuts, Chris. I mean, it's just so many things.
yeah, nothing like,
Nuts, Chris. I mean, it's just so many things just didn't go your way.
everything was like somebody was stirring a pot, and it was just,
Yeah, exactly what it was like. So then, I know I keep bringing it up. Can you walk me through, that's just the last thing about, can you walk me through, that's just the last few minutes before Shenandoah?
it was pretty much just, I had gotten dressed for work, and then, like, we started talking.
Did she come to you?
And I was just right there in bed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was just like, I got my, I was just right there in bed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was just like, I got my blue shirt on, my everything ready to go.
Was she asleep, or did you wake her up to finish your conversation?
I would wake her up because like she got home like 2 o'clock, so she pretty much out of it. But I never knew like if her plane got delayed. Someone always told me like she just like sat around with Nicole and just like talked for a while and then came home or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was delayed. Yeah.
But yeah, when she came home and everything, but yeah, like I woke her up and talked to her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And is that
Something like it's something that didn't go right with me. Something I know like she knew. I just knew she knew. I just felt like maybe the kids weren't going to be there when I got home that day.
Oh, interesting. Now, I don't mean to offend, but I have to ask, is that really the truth? I got home that day. Oh, and
Did
so,
you take them somewhere?
No, I just felt like either maybe I wouldn't go home, maybe they weren't going to be there, or I wouldn't be allowed in. Type thing.
I think I saw some text messages where she had talked about that she could come to her state or something, so she wouldn't be able to afford to live. She said about that.
She said she couldn't afford to live in Colorado on her own, and that I told her like, well, drive, and she pretty much makes the same amount I do.
Yeah.
But she said she wouldn't want to try, just because Colorado just the price of living there was a lot higher than North Carolina.
It just was it just on crazy. Someone else would like lock you out of the house
Or just like I wouldn't want to make it seem like trying like pound on the door trying to get in or anything like that. But like I just felt like that was what I did on Sunday. It's kind of like or Saturday night was kind of like the last straw. Kind of like going out with somebody and using an actual bank account card and just like.
walk me through it though, because she comes home, she touches you, you guys have sex, you fall asleep, and you wake up for work, all natural, all, a normal day's work type thing. What was it that made you think, I just can't do this anymore, I have to talk to her?
It was eating away at me. Like I knew like something, and everything that I did. It was eating away at me. Like I knew like something, and everything that I did. Like I know like when I was with Nikki, it was different. Like I wasn't even like in the realm of I'm a dad, I'm a husband type thing.
Oh.
And then like I was saying, when I'm never at home, like sleeping in my own bed. Like then like I was saying, when I'm never at home, like sleeping in my own bed. Like I have no like concept of that anymore.
Interesting.
Because it
So
was
in your mind and heart, you can move on.
like it kind of felt like if I wasn't at home, like I didn't think about it almost. Cause like if I wasn't sleeping on my own, like I didn't think about it almost. Cause like if I wasn't sleeping on my own, like I think there was at one point like Nikki had gone to the mountains with her friends for like a few days, like into June, first part of July, and then like that part obviously like home, but like from that whole month that part obviously like home, but like from that whole month of July on, it was like I was never at home. Like I never had all those reminders around me. I never had like every time my wife would call me, I would be at Nikki's house.
Oh.
I would be at Nikki's house.
Oh. While she was in North Carolina?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would like to know, walk outside and talk to her, like when I was next to the car or something like that. But I would never be at home looking, like, have all these pictures around me and just being in the same bed, you know, seeing my kids' beds, seeing everything that, you know, that we do.
And so, did you just want to once and for all get it out in the open?
I just wanted to just tell her how I was feeling at that point in time. Like, I didn't feel like me and her were compatible anymore. So, honestly, I didn't feel like that because what was going on with Nikki, it was new. You know, it was new.
Right, absolutely.
Anything that makes you
I love going.
yeah, unfortunately. But it was just like, I never felt that. I mean, even like with new relationships in the past, like, it always feels different, like, you know, the first couple weeks, and then, you know, but it just, with someone Nikki felt different. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just, like you said, like, maybe more of me coming out. This man always said, like, it always seemed I was more myself around other people, like, you know, her cousin, Cody, like, you know, like, Cody came up to visit us for a little bit while we were in Colorado for a little while, and Cody always talked about, like, all me. I'm just like, maybe I always felt nervous around you.
There's only so much oxygen in the room, right? I say this to some people with dominant personalities.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I just always felt nervous. I always felt like I was, you know, never could actually just, you know, be myself.
Well, and it seems as though, and again, hard to talk about, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but it also seems, is it accurate to say that sexually you were able to say, Nikki, this is what I would like, this is what I'm into, or blah, 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 and maybe not what you know.
No, Nikki just wanted, I mean, she wanted what she wanted. She wanted to do it pretty much all the time. And I was just like, okay, that's kind of like, hey. Sometimes it happened, sometimes it didn't. But that wasn't the case as far as that way. It wasn't just like sexual. But it was me. I was just want myself. I could like just not think about what I was going to say or plan what I was going to say or not, you know, say something stupid or something.
That morning, next question. Did you feel at all like maybe you were kind of cheating on Nikki or doing that?
I felt strange. I felt like, you know, the first time I was with Nikki, I felt weird. First time, like, and then the last time I was with Shannon, I felt totally strange. I was just like, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who and that did not feel right with me. Like, I didn't know what had happened to me. So Nikki even asked me, like, have you done this before? Have you go straight away? I'm like, I never even thought about it. It's like, what's different? It's like, I guess it's just you that's different, because I just never actually, like it was just like, it's like she had a leash on me and she tugged me away. As soon as she walked, I'm like, what the heck is going on? So,
well, and Tammy brings up a very good point. I wonder if that last time with Shanann having sex had somewhat of a role in you thinking, like a trigger? I got that accurate?
Yeah, it felt like it was like maybe like a trigger point or something, like it's like you hit the push button on a bomb and it just blows up.
Right.
Just something in my head was just like something was hurting. Just like I had to say something.
Okay. So then, exactly what did you say and what happened?
So then I woke her up, just like I told her, I don't feel compatible. I don't feel like this is gonna work. I just, you know, I don't want to. Like, can we cancel the trip to Aspen? Because she had booked a trip that week to go to some like mystery 4-star luxury hotel or something.
Just the two of you or the whole family?
Just me and her.
Okay.
And she had a hotel or something.
Just the two of you or the whole family?
Just me and her.
Okay.
And she had a man at the fair, couldn't watch the kids that weekend or something.
Okay.
And I was just like, can we cancel that? Can we like do something like that? From what I remember, I even said, can we move to Brighton? Just to get away from like this house.
Oh.
Move to Brighton. Just to get away from like this house.
Oh.
But like, I'm not sure if that was like in the beginning or in the part of the conversation or whatnot. That conversation was so many different ways. Like it had gone from like staying together to not staying together to just like from like staying together to not staying together to just like all of the above.
Okay. So this is half an hour, what?
Definitely not more than that.
Okay.
I don't think.
Did you crying? Was she crying?
It's bad. forth. It's like, you know, she's got, you know, mascara.
Crying.
It's back and forth. It's like, you know, she's got, you know, mascara. She didn't wash her face when she got home. She had makeup on still, so mascara was running all over her and stuff like that. Yeah, it was nothing about that conversation. I just wish I could take all of that. Just the whole Nikki thing back. Just the whole Nikki thing back, everything. But when did it turn? As far as that conversation, just at the end when I was telling her, like, I told her I didn't love her anymore. That's what happened. But she'll be good.
Did you say she said something like you were hurt the baby or something?
That was before that, because like when I was straddling her, it was kind of like around her waist type deal.
Why did you get off her?
I just, when we got on the bed, I just listened to you. No, I mean, she could probably listen to me just laying beside her, but I got on top of her. And every time I think about it, I'm just like, did I know I was going to do that before I got on top of her?
Really? That's an interesting thought, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what you mean?
It's like, you know, everything that happened that morning, I don't know if I wanted to do this, but I did it. Because everything was kind of like, it just felt like it was, I don't even want to say it felt like I had to, it just felt like there was already something in my mind that I wasn't planning that I was going to do it, and I woke up that morning and it was going to happen, and I had no control.
You never thought about it before?
Like in the sentencing hearing, that prosecutor said it takes 2 to 4 minutes or something like that to happen. Like, why can't I just let go? I didn't. I just let
Was
go.
it feeling like it was in motion and you just couldn't stop it?
Yeah, it's just like, I don't even want to know.
Oh, she did. Why do you think she wasn't fighting?
I don't know. Maybe she was praying. Maybe she was just. I read the Bible. It said, you know, like, you know, the scripture says, don't forgive these people for they do not know what they do. Maybe she was saying that. I don't know what she was saying in her head, but she, you know, like when you guys told me, like, take off your shirt and check for defensive wounds, and like, you know, there wasn't going to be any. She was like, why? Wounds, and like, you know, there wasn't going to be any. She was like, why?
Did she grab your arms, or were her arms pinned down, or?
Not that I remember. I don't think so. I mean, I don't think, like, I moved to where my knees were around her arms or anything, but it was just kind of like when I got on top of her and we started talking. It was just kind of like when I got on top of her and we started talking, that was it. It's kind of like in my head, or like in the back of my head, that was going to happen. And just like at the end of the conversation, it's just like, that's what happened. I just wish I could have let go. I just wish I could have let go.
Did it seem like it was that long to the phone? How long did it seem for you?
Almost kind of felt like it was longer almost. It felt like time was standing still. It felt like it was longer almost. It felt like time was standing still. It's kind of like I just saw my life just disappearing before my eyes, but it just like I couldn't let go. It was like somebody else, like if you picture somebody else around you, holding your hands, holding you, keep you from not letting go. Not letting go.
At some point there was a statement about rage. Do you feel like you were in a rage at that point? How did
That's the
you?
only way I can describe it, honestly. I guess my attorney had said like some, you know, strangulation is more of like a, I don't know, passionate type thing. So I don't know how that can be passionate.
It's just intimate, because you're right.
Right.
Using your own feelings. It's a lot different than someone standing across.
It just felt like somebody was like behind me, just like, just couldn't let go.
It's interesting to me because there was a lot of things in your life that were like that, right? Where you're just like, you felt out of control, or you felt like, I don't know why I couldn't take a step back, or stay with anybody in my food.
I've never been in a football game since North Carolina, so I was just like, yeah, sure. I wanted to, yeah. I just texted you, hey, it should go through, can't go.
So,
after, Shannon was like, once she was gone, I was just like, I didn't know what, I don't know what we call it, traumatic event, type and everything, and like, I was shaking, and I didn't know what had happened. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I had done. I still wasn't that right state of mind. I don't think like I was in control of what I could think or what I could do at that point in time. And most people say like, well, I could call 911, like, but once you're in that situation, you don't know what you would have done. It's easy to play Monday morning quarterback. You don't know what you would have done. It's easy to play Monday morning quarterback.
I agree with that.
Like you said, if somebody shoots somebody, you don't know what they're going to do and line up going down. You don't know what they've done. So,
What'd she say? Did she hear something? That was odd. Okay. What do you tell them? What do you tell them? Did that happen with Bella right in that room?
not probably.
What happened?
She walked in as she walked in as she thought she was sleeping.
Did you take her back to her room?
Put Shannon that she found on site.
Okay.
Carried her downstairs. Back in my truck up.
At that point, were the girls still there? She ran from the truck. And
By out in the truck.
Bella first or Susie?
In the truck.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So Chanel was first. And then Bella was next. Was Bella alive when you guys got in the truck? Oh, okay. What? Okay.
I don't really want to talk about this part, honestly. Those are my kids. My baby. I'm just talking about them. I don't see how this could happen. I don't know how this could happen. Being a dad was the best part of my life. I took it all away.
I think that's the hardest part for us, Chris, is we see those videos, we see that love that you had for your girls, like, it's hard for us to understand how a dad who's given piggyback rides and, making snacks and watching princess movies and those kinds of things, kind of get to that point,
Like I said, it was just like something else was controlling me that day. I had no control over what I was, like when that prosecutor said about her tongue, like repeatedly, I just wanted to just bang my head up against the wall.
So you put Shanann in the truck and then you put the two girls in the truck? Or they just sitting and put the two girls in the truck? Or they just sitting in their car seats? Or I guess they didn't probably have to
No,
sit in the truck.
I was just sitting in the back with the, like in that bench seat.
So Shanann was back there too?
She was on the floor.
What did they say about Shanann? What did they say about the annihilator for?
I'll be okay.
What did you tell them?
She'll be fine.
Did you have yourself with them? With their toys and their blankets and stuff?
They had
With them? With their toys and their blankets and stuff?
they had something with them that they carried. One of them, I think, had a CCM belt, had like a blanket or something with them, like a pink blanket or.
What about the dog? One of them had a dog, right? What about the dog? One of them had a dog, right?
Yeah,
CC?
Yeah, one of them had like a little barking dog.
Was that with you too?
I think it was. It's hard to remember. Like if they had like the big blanket, small blanket. Blanket.
So, I think I saw on the video that you put that plane or something like that. Did you have different planes?
I
When
was,
you put that in there?
I don't know what formed in my head. I feel like I'd get rid of myself at the same time if I was doing all this, honestly.
Did you think about that?
What did you think about that?
I didn't feel like I deserved to live after what had happened.
The whole family going away that day? To include you?
After everything happened, I just definitely thought,
Yeah. See, it's interesting to me. We had all kind of wondered if there was a point when you were all together, if you were all going to pass together. That's, even though it sounds crazy, that's what a family man does, right?
family man doesn't do what he did.
No, I know. I guess what I mean is, it seems like you guys were going to be together forever in that way. Is that maybe what's going through your head?
I know it's like, whatever judgment I was going to come upon myself, you know, I just didn't deserve to be on this earth anymore. What happened?
So what did you...
I don't know if it was just more of like a, because with the site, maybe it was just more of like, I would have hurt more people than just me and everybody else. I know there's other people out there, site or other people like maybe out in the area, like, I didn't want something like on the site to catch fire and blow up, and then other people around would get hurt the same.
So you were thinking initially about starting a fire out there or an explosion or something? Or
No, not
a fire out there or an explosion or something? Or
not for that. Just like maybe I take care of myself. And I was like, how? Maybe gasoline. That's the only thing to do. I mean, I don't have a gun. I don't have anything like that. I don't have a gun. I don't have anything like that. I don't suicide out there. But it's just to pull yourself up. It was just. I wasn't thinking. Yeah. I don't have weapons. I've never hunted before in my life. I don't know what. Nothing was right down with.
I remember you kept telling me that. You kept saying. I remember you kept telling me that. You kept saying, I didn't know what I was doing, Tammy. I didn't know.
I didn't have to put out a sheet. Like, what were you doing? Like, I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah. I think you were just like in automatic mode or some like. So did you drive straight out there? What were you thinking on the way out there?
I was kind of like what I was doing right now. I'm just like, you know, nervous, shaking, not knowing, like, you know, what's going to happen. What's going to happen. Like, I know, like, my life is completely changed. I don't know, like, what's happening. Like, honestly, like, I try to picture that whole ride. Like, it's like 45 minutes to an hour ride out there. And it's just like, couldn't I have, like, saved my girl's life. Couldn't I have questioned love? This is like what I wanted all my life, was to be a dad, just to have, kids, and they love me, and, all that, and it just nothing made sense. Like the oil tank, nothing made sense. I'm just like, really?
So what happened when you got out there?
Just to place off to the site. And then
What were the girls doing when you were doing that?
just sent them back to the truck. CC first. He did have a blanket. He had a blue blanket.
So was she alive when she went into Lansing?
Put the blanket over her head. I put the blanket over her head. I didn't want to. Strangled her right there in the back seat.
Okay.
What was wrong with her?
Decided.
Did she understand that you know what's going on? Understand that you know what's going on?
Can't say anything.
And then the same for Bella. Just another blanket.
With the blanket.
Oh, okay.
I didn't look. Like every time I closed my eyes, I just hear her saying, "Daddy, no," and that was it.
That's what Bella said.
And did it every day.
Really? Sorry, man.
Sorry doesn't take anything back.
I know. I know. Is it possible that in your mind you just want them to suffer throughout their life? Is this like a mercy?
I mean, you can say that like after the fact, but it was just like, I don't.
You didn't feel like that,
I
right?
just didn't feel like it was. I don't.
You didn't feel like that, right?
I just didn't feel like it was just like an anger with man with everything that I was just taking it out on everybody that was in front of me that morning.
Yeah.
I mean, kids growing up without their parents, depending on what grandparents or whatever they grew up with, seemed to be fine. But it was just like, it was an anger thing. It was just like,
And what were you so angry at Shannon about? What you could pinpoint it?
nothing like to want to do this. I mean, you could be angry at your spouse like your whole life, but you should never do anything like this. You should never let it get to that point. But I let it get to a point where I've never been angry before. Like, this was like the epitome of being angry. The epitome of like showing the rage, the epitome of like, and even like some people in here said, dude, like, what the heck happened? You must have freaking snapped. I'm like, walk away. I'm just like, I don't see it in my mind how it could, like, I look outside every day and like, what could we be doing right now? Right now I have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and what might be a 1-month-old son. And a beautiful wife. And it's like, right now it's just me.
I watched that. Don't seem excited. You seem like kind of in shock.
Scared.
And yeah, like, oh fuck. Like,
Well,
it's
it's-
already complicated and now.
Well, it's like, when we had talked about it, like a couple weeks, it happened that, like, with Bella, it was like we almost gave up trying. Then with CC, it was like, we had to try. And then finally, but with Nico, it was, once or twice, and like 2 weeks later, just right.
Is that what happened?
It's just like, it was more of like, surprise, scared, I'm like, wait, what? Like, we just talked about this. Like we just talked about this. Like, people have brought up the fact, like, oh, she was probably pregnant before, like, you guys even talked about it. I was like, it's not, no. But, like, yeah, it was insanely fast. I give it that. Like, that's the only reason I ever gave that notion, like, fast. I give it that. Like, that's the only reason I ever gave that notion, like, even the moment I saw it, because it was, like, faster than any other time that she'd gotten pregnant.
You just didn't seem happy. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I haven't, like, I don't remember the video much. I know she was wearing, like, a, oops, we did it. I don't remember the video much. I know she was wearing, like, a, oops, we did it again shirt, I think, and I was walking with my cooler or something, and I don't remember, like, my actual, like, reaction, like, watching the video, but, like, I could see her eyes, see, like, didn't seem like he was jumping for joy type thing.
Yeah.
I could see her eyes, see, like, didn't seem like he was jumping for joy type thing.
yeah, it didn't seem like that.
Did you watch the one of the, when I found out about CC?
Oh,
Oh, okay.
totally different.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
yeah, it was, because, Bella was in the crib, and they had a, Bella was in the crib, and they had an eviction notice on the...
Oh, yeah, you told me about it. Yeah, I never saw it.
Yeah. I picked up Bella and spun her around and whatnot. This time it was just me and Shannon, and she was in the kitchen. I don't know, like, I don't forget what date it was, maybe like 3rd or 5th or 7th, I'm not sure like what date it was in the video, but maybe I already felt guilty about talking to Nikki at work.
Yeah.
Maybe that was going through my head.
Is that the potential timing? Does that make sense? Okay.
I don't remember the video, what date the video was, but I think she told me like afterwards.
When you say you met her, you mean, like, went on a date with her?
No, I never went on a date with her. Nicole. She's in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Just like flirting and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was natural flirting back and forth. And I was just like, I knew that, like, with that video, talking to the girl at work.
You probably did, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys fight before you and Shannon? I know we talked about, like, not really raising your voice and stuff. Was there... I want to see, didn't a neighbor talk about them fighting?
Yeah, but that was embellished and exaggerated, and he
Did you ever fight? Did you ever...
I mean,
was there any domestic violence in your house? Like,
no, like, we never...
this is strange to us.
Even from her to you, I mean,
Yeah.
she's mad when she's pregnant and grabs a knife, or
No, like,
scratches you or smacks you around, or nothing.
no, she's never, like, nothing. That's what goes to.
Did she ever belittle you at all? Did you ever feel that way, maybe?
Was that?
Did she ever make you feel like she belittled you, or you felt belittled by her?
I mean, there's always points, like, in a marriage where, like, the dominant person, like, takes control of
Sure.
everything. But, like, I never, like, put myself in the center of attention. I didn't want to be.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be in the back row.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if she did belittle me, I couldn't figure out at that point in time.
So you never really felt that way by it?
No, I mean,
Yeah.
I always knew I was, like,
Right.
she took control of those situations, like, when people came over, like, I knew what our role was.
Yeah.
Like, I watched videos of, like cooking, or she could make, like, powder balls, or, or protein balls, or whatever.
Yeah.
You just don't seem like you wanted to be in those videos.
No.
Like, I feel like you were being forced to be in them.
Be in the videos. I mean, I did it for her, because
Right.
it was for her business and stuff, but, like, it was, I hated just being out for everybody to see. That's why, like, the whole, like, the gender reveal thing, I was just like, I didn't want it to be.
Yeah.
But, like, I never wanted to be out there. Yeah.
Well, even when she was, because we talk about this a lot, Tammy and I did, even when it was, it was Florida, on some, Florida Drive, thing, and she's like, here we are, and it's all expenses paid, and
I was like,
I remember looking at you and thinking,
Look into anyone, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't be either.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not me.
yeah,
I get it. Totally
But I
get it.
remember you talking about, like, she would even post stuff for you. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you're technically a salesman, too, of
yeah, I was,
Lavelle,
yeah,
right?
that's like she put me underneath her, not like anything, like any of my friends or stuff. So it was just, I would send her pictures, like I should take a picture with your patch. Like, okay, send it to her, and then she'd make a post about it. She eventually, she was like, I need to take more control over like, your business and stuff. I'm just like, I don't know what to talk about.
Right,
Like if I went up to talk to somebody at the mall, or what to talk about.
right.
Like if I went up to talk to somebody at the mall or at the pool or somebody about this, I just stumble all over my words and just like, okay, bye. But no,
Yeah.
I'm not sales. She could sell everything you're wearing. It's back to you.
Right.
And you would even know it. Like everything you're wearing. It's back to you.
Right.
And you would even know it. Like we have to pay. Yeah, those videos were not me. I did it just to support her. You know, like she would always say, "Oh, okay."
Could you tell her no? Could you say, I don't want to be in that video?
You know, like she would always say, "Oh,
Could
okay."
you tell her no? Could you say, I don't want to be in that video? Or was that enough?
Probably not enough. Yeah. I mean, it's like, you know, she would have been like, well, this is to, you know, help our family. This is for, you know, help this and that, you know, so I couldn't have told her no. I mean, it would have made it bad. I couldn't have told her no. I mean, it would have made it bad. I wouldn't start that. It's because it's for the business, it's for the family, you know, I was just going to try to help out wherever I can.
could that actually make money?
Mm-hmm.
So not only just more sales, but it actually put money in the guys. So not only just more sales, but it actually put money in the guy's pocket.
Mm-hmm. She made probably in that last year, as much as I did.
On commission, basically. I mean, I know that's a simplified version of it, but
Yeah, I mean, it's,
And
they
no
don't
matter.
pay taxes out on it, so.
Yeah.
right.
They pay for your car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did they give you her an allowance or something? to buy it?
Yeah, if you're a certain level, like a 12K or above, they give you car allowance once a month. I'm not sure how they make money, the owners. They're just like an insane markup on the product, which I'm not
Probably is, yeah.
I'm not sure how much it costs for them to make it.
Yeah.
Did you feel like a different person wearing those patches?
Especially like the duo, the burn. I mean, it felt, like the Apple Watches, like if you look on it, like when it tells you your exercise, it says exercise just from those patches.
What did you call it, caffeine or what?
They just have something, they had something in them. I mean, the black label ones, the longer black ones, those had caffeine in them, but it never had that effect. I mean, the duo burn ones, the ones that are more like the fat loss type, it felt like World War. I mean, I know at some points even Nikki said that, like, you know, I'd fall asleep on the couch, on her couch while I was talking to her, and then, like, pick back up like I never knew I fell asleep. Which I don't know if it was, like, an insomnia thing or what, but, like, I wasn't sleeping. Yeah, those are the only patches I really felt like got a real big difference on, just because it felt like I was working out all day.
You don't feel like they changed your personality or
I don't really know. I know that I just felt different on those than any other patch. I felt like I could just go longer and longer each day. And I'm not sure, like, if that was probably a bad thing. Because I don't think I was probably sleeping more than 3 hours a night.
Would you stay when Shannon was gone, would you stay with Nikki and then go home for like to get ready for work? Shannon was gone, would you stay with Nikki and then go home for like to get ready for work?
Yeah, I just wake up at like 4:30 and go home and get ready for work and leave. And then just work out when I got back home.
What were the conversations with Nikki? What were the conversations with Nikki as far as at some point you guys were talking about her helping you find an apartment? So what did you guys talk about as far as your future together?
That didn't really happen until like I got back. That didn't really happen until like I got back from the beach. So I told her like I lied to her like, hey, like I talked to Shannon about getting the separation.
And that talk hadn't happened yet.
I mean, it kind of like
Talk hadn't happened yet.
I mean, it kind of like. Now, I mean, she knew something was going on in the beach. I mean, we weren't sleeping in the same room, and she even mentioned the fact, like, hey, Colorado's a big state or something like that. And she said, okay, like, I guess she looked it up. But, she said, okay, like, I guess she looked it up. But, that actual talk, I didn't like that ever happen. I was just like, I thought it was going to happen.
Yeah. And so in conversations with Nikki, I get it. I mean, you're telling her like the progress toward the divorce is a little bit more than you're telling her like the progress toward the divorce is a little bit more than it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so what were you guys planning?
So it was more of like she's gonna help me find an apartment that was affordable. This is kind of just around like Brighton or maybe just close to work, like for London or something around there. Maybe just close to work, like for London or something around there. That's kind of like where my area was.
Did you talk about moving with her?
She didn't want that.
She didn't want that. Would you have done that if she would have gone with that?
I've been both too soon, I would have thought. I've been both too soon, I would have thought. It was just, we'd only been really seeing each other like almost like a month or maybe just talking about 2 months. So I was really. But she called her house, like her apartment, like her, I don't know, like her, kind of like shield or kind of like her, I don't know, like her, kind of like shield or kind of like her, she had another word for it, but.
Her safe place?
Yeah, like a safe place or something like that. And she was like, people like to invade it, but that's why she always let me come over, because she said she felt like it was fine, like the dog liked me and everything, like she was there, like it was fine, like the dog liked me and everything, like she was there, just shouldn't belong here type thing, okay.
So you and Shannon, did you talk about selling the house? Or what point did you? I mean, there was some discussion there with Ann Meadows and.
Yeah, she had sent an email about like how we would go about like selling the house.
Yeah.
And I think Ann told her about Ann was always about getting pre-approved. Just like like if you're going to sell your house, get pre-approved for like another house, so it's like much faster.
Yeah, so you can just quickly transition from one to the other. Okay. When did that happen? When did you remember?
In like first week of August, somewhere around there, I think she might have contacted her.
Okay. So the plan was maybe to buy a house. I think you told me in Brighton, the thing about buying a house in Brighton, just to get out from under it.
That Adams 12 school system or something.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I think that's what Brighton is at.
Yeah.
What were you thinking about all that?
I was freaking out. I didn't know, like I was thinking in my head, like, what I just did, what I just done. And I didn't know, like, it was stupid to do anything. To call the school. They were right to be, suspicious about anything, because I knew I probably sounded eccentric on the phone and out of sorts. And just, I can only
I think you thought it was weird, but I don't know how you would not sound weird, like you said, so.
So are you 100% sure the girls were still around and alive when you drove out? So that's completely accurate. There's nothing else about that. They got into the truck. Okay.
What did the blanket know?
either probably in the trash can or something. But it wasn't like, it was still in my truck.
We thought we saw some GPS.
It was still in my truck.
We thought we saw some GPS where you had stopped by your construction rolled off dumpster. Is that true, or?
I think that's like, I dumped my clothes in there.
So that would have been on the way back to the house,
My neighborhood.
yeah, when Officer Coon,
My neighborhood.
yeah, when Officer Coonrod was there? Okay. Was it one of those red construction dumpsters?
What am I doing?
Okay.
Did you pack new clothes? How did that work?
I already have something in there, because like, in case we have like a spill or something,
Oh.
Yeah.
if you ever get crude oil on you, you don't, like, in case we have like a spill or something,
Oh.
Yeah.
if you ever get crude oil on you, you don't. Yeah, I have like 2 pairs of boots, and all kinds of different stuff in there, just because like this one time I had to clean up a spill and I had defrost on, and I had like a headache for like 2 weeks, because like the crude oil that comes for like 2 weeks, because like the crude oil that comes back. So I always have something in there.
So where did you keep them after you took them off? Like, did you just change out there into your new other?
So like I dumped my clothes in that dumpster.
But it wasn't that on the way back when you were coming. Like you had already worked the whole day.
Yeah.
When you were coming. Like you had already worked the whole day.
Yeah.
I'd worked
No.
I'd worked like till like 11 or so.
Right. Yeah. So that was back when Nicole Atkinson.
Yeah, when she was at my house hitting the doorbell, that's when I knew someone was at the house.
Right.
Did you think right then, like, oh fuck?
There. I was like, I didn't know, like, maybe she had an appointment or something with Shanann. I didn't know.
What did you think, like, that day, like, what you were going to say? Like, what was your plan? Were you just going to go home and be like, report to the police that your family's gone, or?
I had, like, once, like, I had no idea what was going on, acting even normal to the people that I was around. Because when, like, Troy and Cody and Chad and Alyssa and all them, like, you know, when they showed up on the site, I don't even know how I was even being somewhat even coherent what I was saying, but apparently they understood me. So I some criminal minds type.
Well thought out.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing like that.
You're just minute by minute at that point.
Yeah, it was, I had no idea what was going on.
So once the girls were gone, was it also just a minute by minute thing as far as the oil?
Just thinking about an oil tank just makes me want to throw up.
And was that just because it was in front of you and there it was and just presented itself? It wasn't a plan beforehand? Okay. Any reason why?
Going upstairs and just didn't. Oh, what Frank said is like I was trying to separate everybody. That's not.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't want to separate anybody.
What was the reason?
I can't even tell you. It's like I said, like something else was in control of what I was doing, and it was like control of what I was doing, and it was like I was doing something I never thought I would ever do in my life.
Did you think there would be less chance of someone finding them if they were in separate tanks, or?
Something's over there. Something's over there.
Whatever my reason was in my head that day, it wasn't sound, so nothing was right.
You remember thinking about it?
No, it was just like, it was like a reaction of, it was like a reaction of something that I wasn't even thinking about.
Can we talk about the trash bags? Do you remember that? There were two.
Okay, yes. Trying to,
There were two.
okay, yes. Trying to, because like the sheet kept, I didn't want to, like when I was putting the one coherent, I guess, thing I had, like I didn't want the girls looking at Shanann while they were in the back seat.
So what'd you do?
Put
So what'd you do?
a trash bag on one end and on their feet and on their head, so they didn't have to see.
Okay. And they were just too little to kind of figure out, right?
Yeah, they didn't. I was, like when I was driving up there, they were just, sitting there just, kind of asleep or kind of just like, holding on to each other, like in each other's laps. I it was happening so fast, I had no time to really have a thought. That was my own. I wasn't like seriously trying to separate anybody,
Yeah.
passing away, trying to keep that. And everything, you know, Frank Sandy and Tammy said, you know, like, I don't hold it against them, and they can hate me for, they have a right to hate me for the rest of their lives.
They don't. In fact, while we're on the subject, I speak with them weekly, and I told them that we were going to come tell you. Understandably, they're devastated, but they actually said that they love you. They still love you, and Sandy explained it. You know, he's our son-in-law for 8 years. I can't just turn that off. So they don't hate.
So that's amazing to hear that.
Yeah, well, and I can tell you, Sandy was the one that was most resistant to penalties in this case, and she said that. She told me that at the very beginning, that she didn't want that. It's God's decision. It's not her decision. And then she told me that even then. That she has said it to me. It's been over the whole course of the event. So that's probably one of the most honest things someone's ever told me. You know, so it's pretty amazing. You know, her faith is. You know, she's obviously a believer. So am I. I get it. So I understand it. You know. Good people.
I would have figured they would have hated me for.
They don't. I mean, yeah, anybody would think that. I certainly would have, but I have to admit I was surprised, really taken aback by that. But they certainly don't. So. They said they want to know, you know, details because they need closure, and that's really all they want, and they want to keep it private. And I said, well, absolutely. That's, you know, we'll talk to them about what you told us, and just so they can put it past them, you know, because they haven't get past it all, and I think that may help, just to, you know, just to know.
Closure is, you know, I mean, my parents still think, you know, like, I told them I pled guilty for a reason.
Right.
And like, I told it to them, and they had that the day before, like, I pled guilty, but like, pleading guilty for a reason. Like, I didn't just, you know, I knew other people were watching, so I didn't just go in and like, just say anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, they seemed to take it, okay.
Mm-hmm.
What made you do that, Chris?
This for 2 or 4 years.
Right.
You know what? My attorneys that lied for me for 2 or 4 years. Like they would have done anything I told them to do. That's what I don't see how they can do that. And like, you know, that's what attorneys do. You know, like they take their defendant and they say, like, what happened? Okay, we'll go with that story. What happened? Okay, we'll go with that story. Like I told them everything I just told you guys. And it's just like, they got together, like, well, you know, if they ever offered a plea deal, would you ever want it? Like, just plead guilty to. I'm like, yeah, man, if we can end this, it's ended. Like, I was like, just plead guilty to. I'm like, yeah, man, if we can end this, it's ended. Like, I was like in September, I told them that. Yeah, they like, but you know, it was way too early, and prosecution was still doing their investigating, still grabbing evidence and all kinds of stuff, and that wasn't even on the table. So I think that wasn't even on the table. So I think it was like around Halloween. I think that's when the prosecution went to Frank and Sandy and Frankie's house. And it's talking like, if we can end this, would you be open to that? And that's when, like, you know, like the whole, would you be open to that? And that's when, like, you know, like the whole death penalty and everything, all that conversation happened. And I guess they were surprised that it would just be over. And
We were all in shock. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, that was like,
It's like we're going 100 miles an hour. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, that was like,
It's like we're going 100 miles an hour and then we just hit a brick wall. Like that's what it felt like for all of us. So sometimes you have more time to.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I told John and Kate, Sophia and everybody, Amy, hey, it's like, if we can just stop this, and like, I know it's everybody's telling me to fight this, there's no, like, there's, like, everybody's saying there's, like, not enough evidence to such this, and that. I'm just like, no, this needs to end. Like, I don't want people to have to, because for Frank and everybody to have to fly back to Colorado, it's never going to go away. But to actually have to come and talk about it, have other people talk about it, have, all three of you get on the witness stand and say, what they saw, what they've seen, what they heard on tapes and everything like that. It's just like, I don't want people to live that over and over and over again for in this for everybody. And then, like, if there's any closure at all, it could start then instead of, like, in 2022. Right. Everything just like, so I know it'll only get worse for everybody.
So does it have anything to do with you not having a death penalty?
It's like I should have died. I mean, I was listening to everybody telling me, like, hey, if you do this and this, you can hang yourself in that cell. You could do this and that.
You were like telling them something.
Yeah, you could drown yourself in the toilet if you wanted to fill your toilet bowl up or something like that. It was they've been there a bunch of times. And, like, I don't, I just feel like maybe there's a different purpose for me somewhere. Maybe it's here. I don't know. Like, I pray to God every day that He would move me away from Colorado, like, and move me away from, like, the DOC there, because I just knew, like, they were saying there was a hit on me. I said if I was going, because of, like, the gangs and all that kind of stuff. And so, like, I just felt like God moved me here for a reason, and I'll, hopefully I can help people that way. But, like, I didn't want my family, I didn't want Shanan's family, and all of our friends, like, having to go through that, because after a while I knew it was, like, this stuff was everywhere. And I knew, after a while I knew it was, like, this stuff was everywhere. And I knew, like, all her Thrive friends, everybody, it was just, like, it would just broke, just that hole in their heart was a little bit bigger every time. I didn't want that. I knew it would have gotten worse. I didn't want it to get any worse than it already was. It would have gotten worse. I didn't want it to get any worse than it already was.
Did you ever think about,
well, it could be very believable what I told him. It could be very believable that Shanann did, end the girls. And so maybe if I tried, end the girls. And so maybe if I tried to convince people that, maybe if I fought with my attorneys on that, maybe I could lessen it somehow. Did you ever think about that?
Honestly, I never even thought about the story until you guys mentioned it.
Yeah. Okay.
I wonder.
I never thought about it until you guys mentioned it.
And what did you?
Okay.
I wonder.
I never thought about it until you guys mentioned it.
And what did you think about it once it got mentioned?
It's just like I just went with it. I didn't, like, I knew my dad was out there. I knew it was like, I knew they would probably believe it because, my mom and my sister just never really liked Shanann. Because, my mom and my sister just never really liked Shanann. And I knew, like, I mean, through all this, like, I got letters from some of my friends that even said, when we went over to your house, we could see, more of a dominant personality, and more of like, hey, you're always helping with the kids and everything. And then we could see, a couple things that I never saw or, whatnot. And even my best friend Mark used to say, there's always, something, I didn't really get with Shanann. I was like, nobody ever told me any of this stuff, but okay. But yeah, I never thought about that story. And, that's what my parents were going with. And then, like, second week, I told them, like, what had really happened.
What did they say after that?
They were quiet. They were writing it down. They said they wouldn't judge me, so I told them. I told them everything that happened. And, most of the time, when they're, don't, like, tell them actually what happened. They just, tell them, all right, get me out of here. And this is what happened. But I told them what happened. But I didn't want them going, if this was going to go, like, anywhere in courts, I didn't want them to get under a false pretense. So I know, like, there was probably things that you guys probably knew that maybe if I just, if I wanted to them and just tell them, this is what happened, that it would have, like, made them look, foolish and stupid and just, like, unprepared. And I was like, this is what happened. And they, prepared and that's when they were saying, like, you know, that if it was ever, you know, if we ever went to them, the prosecution, and say, hey, we could end this, would I be open to it? I'm like, this could end it.
I know there was like, wasn't her phone found on the couch or between the couch and the did you print all that?
I don't know what was going on that morning. Like, even like, you know, her watch, her phone, like, I, you know, if I was actually, like, if I'd planned this, I would probably take it out to the field or something, you know? But
About her ring and stuff. What was thinking about that?
it's like, you know, maybe she wanted, maybe she actually really wanted it. I took it off.
Oh, so that would look like she was saying I want a divorce and I need it here when I took it off.
So the phone and her watch and the couch, was that morning before you left to go to survey? Okay.
That's, I think, Nicole's.
Did you do that? Maybe leave it mixed.
Watch. No. Okay. Through the therapy book she wanted me to read in the trash.
That was that morning.
I would probably, I think so.
Were you
I just didn't think it was nothing was ever going to work again, so just, I didn't know what was going on.
Did you go down to the basement? With the basement door open.
Yeah, the door is open, but yeah. So there was a lot of movement, you know, I think it was around 4:26 or so, door opening, and then of course the living room sensors and all. Do you remember what you were doing all during that time? Other than going in and out of the garage. Yeah.
So like the basement, I'm not sure. I mean,
Okay.
I really have down there is my workout. The bench press.
Did you think about, well, maybe I'll pick her out that way, or was it a walkout basement?
No.
Wasn't it?
No, I think I called another basement, so it's, I don't know, really, what's up? I don't think it worked out that morning.
Like, were you packing your lunch in the kitchen, like, did
Oh,
you
yeah.
do all that normal
Yeah.
stuff? Like, were you packing your lunch in the kitchen, like, did
Oh,
you
yeah.
do all that normal
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did, I packed the lunch and everything. Did all that, I don't know about the basement. Unless I just worked out that morning, I don't remember. I think I did. Unless I just worked out that morning, I don't remember. I think I did.
So one of the more,
Unless there was a trash bag down there.
Maybe that trash bag.
Maybe it wasn't even in the garage. I don't know like that.
Do you normally carry a roll of trash bags in your truck?
No.
Do you normally carry a roll of trash bags in your truck?
No.
Okay. So there was a roll in your truck?
There was?
Yeah.
Maybe I just grabbed it and brought it with me.
Okay.
So it would have been kept in the basement, maybe? Or?
Basement or the garage.
Yeah.
one of the more poignant or tender moments in all of this was seeing your dad in the hand. What was it like when you picked him up at the airport? What was it like when you picked him up at the airport?
It was very strange. It was kind of like I almost knew this probably left and I'd ever see him on the outside. In my head, I knew that.
Yeah. You guys talk about it.
Like he just wanted to talk about sports. He just like, you know, he's always kind of like, you know, distance himself from like a problem type thing. Like, you know, when, like if there's ever an issue or anything like that, he always wants to talk about, like, just bring up, like when I was trying to get him to quit smoking, like, as long as not, he would,
Are you talking about cigarettes?
yeah. And, he would always like just change subject. Like, oh yeah, what happened in the race? Football? Just wanna, I mean, he just never wanted to, like, you know. He said, okay, yeah, I'll get to it, and just boom, something else. And you know, I just kind of felt like it was kind of know where they're at. And you think, you know where they're at or anything like that. So no. And then like start talking about sports and just like normal things. Just kind of. I'm not sure if he maybe knew anything. You know, maybe he kind of figured out something maybe happened. Just wanted
Saw the express
stressful situations, like, I mean, the gray hair didn't show it, but, like, I try not to be stressed. On cars, there's a lot of stress. It's always, it's on commission, you get paid what to do, not by showing up. So, then Darko was a little less stressful. I got paid just to be there.
Was your dad's marriage like yours and Shanine's marriage? As far as like your dad was the more civil and your mom was
Yeah, my mom was always the more aggressive one.
Was she like Shanine in a way? I mean, were you attracted to Shanine because she was kind of like how your mom and dad's relationship was? Or?
It was like, it almost mirrored like her mom and dad's relationship, honestly, because her dad's like my dad. They're both like kind of calm and shit, honestly, because her dad's like my dad. They're both like kind of calm and cool.
Mm-hmm.
And her mom was very...
Sandy rules that roost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Very. And it's just like, I kind of related it to that. Because like, her mom always said like, she always told Shanann that she would marry somebody that was kind of like her. Like, she always told Shanann that she would marry somebody that was kind of like her dad. I felt like I was kind of like her dad. I wasn't like, I couldn't do a lot of things he could, but, our personalities were kind of like, I was always, I think he really liked me the first time he met me because, like, I was, helping Shanann with this, because, like, I was, helping Shanann with this, she had got this car from the dealership that she worked at, and she was driving around and felt like, the wheel was going to fall off. And we pulled over where her dad was, and I got her new bit jacked it up, and I was like, trying to fix everything. He said, like, any other jacked it up, and I was like, trying to fix everything. He said, like, any other guy she'd ever dated would have just like stood by and watched me do it. So like that's when she really like kind of like me. And it was like, I was always wanting to help people, not to hurt anybody.
Well, you helped her all through a little bit, and you're at the corner of the being, you're jacking up the car.
Yeah, I mean, anytime she had an issue with, like, Carter at the 30 South Customs, like, I would just go out to work and see what I could do with it. I would just do whatever I could to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they probably both saw in you that you let them manage that.
Yeah, I just, like, I didn't try to change her. Like, I just let her be, who she is. Yeah. She's, like, she's gung ho. She knows what she wants. She's going to go get it.
Yeah.
I didn't say, hey, you can't do that. That's what her first husband said. And she turned into almost like me. She was like, she was kind of like not paid back and just kind of like let him do what he was doing. And I think she learned after that she could just be herself. And with me, she could definitely be herself. Yeah. And so that's how it worked.
Timing. You showed up when you were still walking around. You weren't in any trouble yet. Ronnie came in.
Yeah, I had met with you the night before, for like 3 or 4 hours. And then I was at Nick and Amanda's house, and out there, and that's when I went to go pick them up.
Okay. And you picked them up. It was early in the morning, right? You guys probably drove home and then to the police station.
Yep.
And the talks there were no type of confession from you. Okay.
No, it was like, he was just gonna wait. I told him, like, there's like that barbecue joint down the street, and like, that's good, and he told me he never left. How he lasted that long without food.
We give her good enough food.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
yeah.
And the reason I ask is because when I look back at my old video, now knowing what I know after talking to you today, I can see how genuinely you love you. Practice now if you guys have come up with some sort of practice now if you guys have come up with some sort of plan.
No, he never talked about anything like that. If I had told him anything, he would have probably just told me to tell him right away.
I think you're right.
He would have still loved me either way, but he would have told me you need to tell him, like right now. Either way, but he would have told me you need to tell him, like right now. I mean, I didn't think I was going to be there for 14 or however long it was, like 10 hours, however long it was that day.
You were there long.
Yeah, but it was, he would have told me just to say, just to tell you. Yeah,
Did you know walking in there that you were going to tell us?
just to tell you. Yeah.
Did you know walking in there that you were going to tell us? Or did you think?
I didn't, I mean, I knew there was a reason you brought me back in. I know both with
What you think about the polygraph?
That was horrible.
Why do you say
I
that?
don't know how you do that.
Why do you say that?
Because
Why do you say
I
that?
don't know how you do that.
Why do you say that?
Tammy's a torturer.
I'm not.
No, like, I mean,
Tell me.
you answered, you asked me questions for like 3 or 4 hours beforehand. Then you do the polygraph, and it's like you just break down somebody's brain to where like
Too
it's like,
much or what?
much. Jello, and it's just
Too
it's
much
like,
or
too
what?
much. Jello, and it's just like I know it's you guys have a job, and you have a plan, and that's you execute it.
She's thorough, right? There's no
Yeah.
way to get out of there without the truth.
No, I mean, I kind of knew like because right when you asked me about like Saturday night, when I told you about the rock band, I was like, man, she was like going through her head,
Well, we did know, we found out about Nikki right before the polygraph.
I figured that out after with meeting with John and everybody that
Yeah.
she had been 14th or the 15th. I was just like, they were talking. Oh, okay. So you already knew. So, but
I mean, I didn't know how extensive it was, but yes, we
yeah, I mean, walking in there that day, just walking into that room, I knew I wasn't walking out.
yeah,
I mean, I don't remember if the polygraph stuff was already in there. I think it was.
it was, yeah.
But it was. I knew it.
I just feel like sometimes when people, do the bad thing and they stay, like, some part of me thinks, well, I think they're here because they really want to tell us what happened. Because it's not normal that you decide, and I could tell it was going to be a bad day.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like that. The 13th when I slept in the house, it did nothing. I didn't help me. I just slept maybe like 2 hours because I just finally just got so tired. I just fell asleep. After that, I had every light on. Nothing felt right.
What were you thinking about during your do it? Did you feel like you had to do it?
I felt like, they would have just kept knocking on my door until I answered it. And, like, I didn't even set it up, but Cole Atkinson set it up. She told me, hey, Fox,
She didn't set it up.
She said, Fox is under your house at 10:30. Like, what? I think I even called you about it, like, what do you recommend that I do? And she's like, it's up to you. And I'm like, okay. I called one of her friends, what should I do? And she said, I probably would do it, but I just felt like, I don't even want, I just felt like, I don't even want to know what I said, what I looked like on there, because some people said it just made it look even worse after the fact, but
It didn't look good. I mean, obviously we can't say, oh, we knew right then he was lying, but I think we all, obviously we can't say, oh, we knew right then he was lying, but I think we all watched it together and like, this might be bad.
yeah,
I had that feeling after I watched it. I could kind of see it in the face.
it's like I was just lying to more and more people, and it's just like,
Do you have internet access here? No? I was gonna say, don't get into that trap that everybody's in. Just watching all that. The social everybody's in. Just watching all that. The social media trap and all that. It's
they don't
ridiculous.
let you have social media.
Good.
I think some of the GP guys are getting like these little like, tablets or something, but they're like, that's like a older iPhone or something. I think they can like email on it. I'm not sure about that older iPhone or something. I think they can like email on it. I'm not sure about that. So no telling me, yeah. I'm not sure about internet or not, but this place is kind of like, getting some iPhone there. I don't think.
I don't know, we're getting service, which is weird.
Yeah.
I didn't think we would.
At least right here.
Yeah,
Maybe it's just
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
a spot.
Yeah, computer room, you would hope they'd have some.
Did you talk to Nikki afterwards? After all this happened?
yeah, 13 on 14.
What was that conversation like?
It was the 13th. It's kind of like, the phone call, and then she thought maybe she had, like, took off with the kids, like, just, because that's what I was telling her. I didn't know where they were, and all that, and and the 14th, she kind of like, I think she kind of thought something had happened, but they hadn't come back. She kept asking me, like, some weird questions. Like, she kept asking, like, questions that only I would know, but she was testing to see if, like, it was actually me on the phone. Like,
What do you mean?
like, she would ask, like, you know, like, what's my dog's name? Or, like, what do I, like, what yoga studio did I go to? I just answer her, like, and then, like, another thing, I'm not sure if this is you. It's like, okay.
Is this through text or is this through calls? Oh, okay. So she wasn't hearing the voice. Okay.
Yeah, is it possible she thought you'd been arrested when you were on the phone?
Either Shanann had my phone or somebody else had my phone.
Alright.
But, yeah.
Well, hopefully Shanann would know all the answers to those questions, right?
No, this is Nikki asking me.
Yeah, but she's asking you your name of your dog and what yoga studio and
Yeah.
what
Well, she maybe she thought, you know, I was with Shanann, and that she was just trying to find out who she was. Yeah, like some of the conversation, like on the 14th, got a little weird. I think that's when she got this CBI or something. Yeah, I'm not sure which one it was first.
So she talked to you after she met?
No.
Oh.
I was like, she had told me like, this is the last time you probably hear from me. I'm going to stay at my family's place. This is all going on. Should not contact her until this is going on. Should not contact her until this is done. Still made to believe everything. I didn't believe everything. Okay. I'm not sure why I didn't believe everything, but probably helped you guys out a little bit.
She told you to delete it?
Helped you guys out a little bit.
She told you to delete everything? Okay.
We don't conversations.
Did she tell you why?
So deleted. Yeah. I'm okay with it.
We're pretty good at getting
Yeah.
We're pretty good at getting
Yeah. When your dad came in, one of the first things you guys talked about, he said, you know, kind of finally I cheated on Shannon or something. Your dad didn't know until that time?
No, they had, when I was in North Carolina on August 6th, when I was in North Carolina on August 6th, when I spent most of the day with my parents and my sister and everybody, you know, they had, I had told them like something like, you know, this, I don't think this is going to work, like, for with what happened with the nuts and everything, and they're not being able to see the kids, we were like, you know, the nuts and everything, and they're not being able to see the kids, we were like, you know, this is the first time they had talked to me, and pretty much. So,
Okay, so you went 3 weeks or something, right?
yeah, because Shanann told me to call them while I was in at the beach just to smooth everything out, because she was like, all right, whatever's going on in your head, you need to fix this. But she didn't want the kids to see them. She didn't want to see them. Went and saw my grandmother. She's in a nursing home. And she still wouldn't go see my parents or any night with the kids. So I just told her to leave me there. My dad would come pick me up and, you know, spend the whole day there. And I just, you know, they were, you know, they said they went for everything that happened that day. I guess, I mean, I'm not sure, like, everything that was said that day when they had that argument, but apparently it was, like, a knockdown, drag out, like, long, pretty hurtful things. Yeah, I'm guessing so. And, you know, they just don't know, like, if they could ever forgive her or not. And I just, like, they even asked me, is there somebody else?
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
So they could kind of sense maybe something's going on.
Yeah, because Nikki was texting me the entire time I was over there.
Oh.
So they could kind of see, like, I was texting somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like, maybe they kind of knew, like, even like when I was in San Diego talking to my friend Mark, I told him I was going to meet up with her.
Okay.
I told him that, you know, I was trying to, like, I should have just told him right then, maybe that would have helped. I know maybe he had an instance where there was some girl coming after him, and she was engaged, and he ended up getting with, she cheated on him.
Is this before he was married or during?
It was after. Okay. But like, he could have, you know, helped me, but I just, you know, I never told him the whole thing. That, you know, it was a lot further along than I wanted it to be.
That's interesting to think about, right? Your dad could have given you some good advice.
Yeah, everybody. No, that's
Oh, I got you.
So you think you told Mark about that and hoping that he'd maybe question you about it, or what do you think?
I was, you know, my best friend, you know, I grew up with him since I was like 8, 9 years old.
Yeah.
So, like, you he had been married before, and it didn't work out. I guess they were stationed together or something, like, over in Korea. I should have just kind of just came out with, like, the whole story, like, you know, like, I just told him, like, there was this girl at work that, you know, I've been talking to, but, you know, I'm just distancing myself from her.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case.
Yeah.
I was just letting it, you know, exponentially get worse.
Right.
In fact, I told him, like, hey, you know, alright, take a step back and look.
Right.
And, like, don't, like, fall into that trap, being you're going to be alone for 5 weeks. I know there's times I wish, you know, like, maybe Shanann didn't have to go away for 5 weeks. Maybe we all just went for 1 week. You know, nothing would have ever happened. Something that was even almost even allowed to happen.
There are quite a few people who would tell us, and who do tell us, you need to look into Nikki more, Nikki Kissinger. All the way from the extreme end of things, meaning Nikki ordered the hit.
She was there, right in the basement.
She was there.
Yeah.
Because she's the real problem. All the way, that's the extreme side, and then all the way to, well, there were these texts where she was infatuated, she was in love, she was saying how good Chris was in the sack, and maybe we should look at her more. You know, what would you say to those people?
You know, she had her moments where I had to talk her, like, off a ledge kind of deal.
What does that mean?
Like, I guess after the fact, there was, like, videos of her that she was, like, recording herself because she was, like, bipolar or something. I didn't do that. But there, it's like, and she would get worked up about nothing. She would just, like, she came to my house once, because I think it was, like, she came to my house once, because I think it was, like, July 4th. I didn't have to work that day. So I didn't, like, get up at, like, you know, 4 o'clock and go home. And Shanann called me, like, 10 times in a row. And I didn't hear it because I was sleeping. I was just like, what? And I didn't hear it because I was sleeping. I was just like, and she was pissed. Shanann was pissed. And, like, I called her on outside, like, where are you at? Like, what? Like, I was like, I didn't have to work today. It's like, you called me at, like, you know, 5:30. It's like, the kids want to talk to you at 7:30. I'm like, 5:30. It's like, the kids want to talk to you at 7:30. I'm like I was sleeping. She's like, she just like, you know, screw you, like, you know, like, I don't know where you're at. And I went back inside, told me, like, I gotta go. And she was just like, okay, can you come back? Probably not. And she was just like, okay, can you come back? Probably not.
So wait a minute, you kind of lost me there. Were you at Nikki's place
Yeah.
because Shanann called you?
Yeah.
Okay, and so you were sleeping in her bed.
Yeah, because I wasn't going to work that day because
Okay.
I didn't have to that day.
Mm.
The first holiday I ever had off. And, you know, Shanann was pissed and, you know, and, you know, Shanann was pissed and, you know, it kind of pissed Nikki off too that I left, but I think that's when I called Nikki later and she was like, you know, she kind of realized that, you know, she'd always be like, you know, the second, she said second bill, that's right. And because that's how I when Shanann calls, she was already pissed. So it was stuff like that where she would like she would go. She says she would go on like websites and look at like will a relationship work with somebody, like will a mistress work with, will a mistress trying to do a relationship?
That's what Nikki was looking at?
Yeah, websites and look at stuff like that. I was like, why do you look at stuff like that? She's like, I just want to see what other people have experienced.
But like, so that confuses me though, because I thought earlier you were saying she thought you were heading toward a divorce. So why was she looking at herself as a sister?
This was later on.
Oh.
Like, you know, in August, were they about separation?
Uh-huh.
That's when, like, she would start looking at, like, apartments and stuff. But, like, during our July relationship type thing there,
Oh, I see.
that's when she was looking up, like, you know what actually worked.
Okay.
She told her friend Brittany about it, I guess, and Brittany told her not to do it, but she said she already made her decision.
Okay. Are those people absolutely wrong about it? Are you sure? Okay. And no part of any of this was because she put it in your head or asked you to, or
She never, I mean, this whole relationship contributed to it.
Sure.
But she never,
I didn't have kids. I want to have, you know, kids of my own with you. Like,
she never knew if she wanted to have kids, but she said that, you know, at one point she said, I'd like to give you a son.
Did she know that Shanann was pregnant with a boy?
No.
Did she know Shanann was pregnant with a boy?
No.
Did she know Shanann was pregnant?
No.
And why is that? You just didn't tell her?
I didn't know. Like, because we had met.
But Shanann put that on Facebook.
That's
Like, how did
what-
she not see that?
I don't know. Maybe she did. She just was waiting for me to tell her, or she put it over and.
Can I ask you a question?
Or she put it over and.
Can I ask you a question? A lot of people think you named Nico after him. So what was that?
Nico was actually a name that she didn't like.
Okay. Shania thought of that one.
Yeah, I wanted to spell it like N-E-K-O.
Shania thought of that one.
Yeah, I wanted to spell it like N-E-K-O. I thought it was like Nico, but she said N-I-C-O. I thought it was like Nico or something.
Okay.
I guess Nico is more of like an Italian name.
Yeah.
So, and like she did leave for, my middle name and my dad and all that, but like, she did leave for, my middle name and my dad and all that, but like, Nico was like, that's the name that she always liked.
Did she name all the kids? She named Bella themselves?
Yeah, Bella, because Italian is beautiful. Marie, mom's middle name. Celeste is her grandmother's name. Catherine's mom's middle name. Celeste is her grandmother's name. Catherine's middle name. I was like, if we had a third child, I was gonna, maybe we could have like Lee in the middle name, but I knew like the girls' names. I love those names, so that's cool. Especially like with the, we have little nicknames for them, like Belle and Bella Dean and Cece, obviously. So that's good. But yeah, Nico was.
Can we go back to the house on the 13th? When you got back there and Coonrod was there, Officer Coonrod, and Nicole was there, and then you went in the house and you were for about a minute or so before you let everybody in. Do you remember what you were doing in there at that time?
I went into the garage,
Right.
and then I ran around and I opened the front door.
Yeah.
Opened the front door for did everybody come out? Yeah, so I came in, I went in through there, I came in, opened the front door, and I ran upstairs. I just was like I was looking around.
Okay. That's after everybody? Did you go around the house at all before you opened the front door? No?
I
Okay.
didn't run around the house. I stayed down at the bottom,
Okay.
bottom floor, and then
Yeah.
I opened the door.
Yeah, okay. Just curious.
That's when Nicole's son came on the phone, and I was going, acting like I was walking through the house.
Yeah.
Shanann had her bra on. Is that normal that she was sleeping in a bra?
Every once in a while, I mean, she just got home from the plane, tired, but normally, no.
Did it not come off when you guys had sex?
I don't think so. Sometimes she just, keeps her shirt on and she doesn't want me to do anything. Just like, she wants what she wants.
Missionary sex?
Yep.
And when her final resting place, was that just naturally what she was wearing? You didn't change her or anything like that? Okay.
Did you have to see him?
They said I could. I was like, no, I don't want it. I've prayed for those hazmat workers that, I'm sure it was hazmat, right? That had the,
You're part of it.
and like,
We were all there.
We were all there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never wanted to see it. I was afraid that I'd rather have to be there. What the aftermath was. And they said, like, if this ever got like a preliminary hearing, that I would have to see him just to be prepared and not have a reaction, an initial reaction. I was like, I don't want to.
Do you feel like your lawyers weren't there to you?
Yeah, they were my only human contact, really. So they're kind of like, almost like a guidance counselor, almost.
Did you feel like you were driving the bus home? With your decision?
Yeah, I mean, I was like, maybe there was a lot of things they never told me. Like, like stuff that came out, like, afterwards, like that whole Mickey Kessinger article with them post and all that kind of stuff. They told me, like, afterwards and everything, but it was I always felt like anything I was telling them, they were going to do what I wanted to do. And they asked me, like, I think like 100 times, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure? Like, once you sign this, like, I guess up until sentencing, I had like time to like, back out. But like, they always, even before we walked in the court, I was like, are you sure? I said, yeah, this is it. I said, yeah, this is it. Okay. But they never told me this is what you have to do.
Yeah.
They always just said, this is your decision, like, if you want to take this farther, or, and John said he was ready, he had all kinds of motions with him and all kinds of stuff. And John said he was ready, he had all kinds of motions with him and all kinds of stuff that were, like, really creative, and because he'd never been in something like this before, and he was ready to fight, and I was just like, I didn't want you to have to do that. Not for me, not for something that the story isn't true. Not for something that the story isn't true. Because it would just only gotten worse. For everybody. For all three of you, for everybody that was involved in it.
Are you still glad you did?
Yeah, I mean, I never thought I'd be in prison. Yeah, I mean, I never thought I'd be in prison the rest of my life. But like, I don't want people to have to keep going through this every day of their lives, knowing that there's a trial hanging over their head, or I mean, if it ever got that far, I don't know yet. But like, I didn't want people to have to read that far, I don't know yet. But like, I didn't want people to have to relive it every day. Did they have to ever see the pictures? Did they have to ever see the pictures? Frank and Sandy and all that?
No, they've never seen them.
They saw some things.
They didn't see anything of that.
Okay.
Of that.
Okay.
Yeah, we shielded that from them.
That's what I just didn't want them to have to see anything or hear anybody talk about what any part of it. Yeah. Or like, anybody bashed their daughter, like anybody ruined like, the impact on her from her, or like had a description of her that they didn't match, something like that. I didn't want them to hear that. I didn't want them, anybody have to trash her memory. Like, I wanted them to know, like, she was a loving wife, she was beautiful, she always helped everybody else. I just wanted, I didn't want anybody to take away what she did.
I tried to get you to say that.
I know.
But, you remember?
I remember. I was just like,
I know you obviously weren't ready to say that.
I know. It's like, like after my dad left, we both came in, like, all right, we got most of the story. Let's get to the true story. I'm just like,
Well, in the end, I think you did the right thing. And even though it's hard to hear, there's a lot of people who thank you for what you did. And I think your whole life has been thinking of others, except for one brief moment. I think you really did think of others when you made that choice. So not this hard, and for everyone else, not that hard, right?
it's anybody that was family and friends,
Right.
Then, just makes it so harder for everybody.
Yeah. You did the right thing.
So you haven't told your parents what happened? You just told them I'm pleading guilty for a reason?
Yeah, I've told them, like, on the phone.
You should fight it. You should.
They've got letters from, like, Australia, England, I mean, of, like, the 35C in Colorado and stuff, like, proper counsel or something like that, effective counsel, and, I mean, some of the stuff they said about, the dry patch, how it's not like, some of the stuff they said about, the dry patch, how it's not like FDA approved, how it can alter somebody's mind, like, it was some kind of condition, but there's something else they call like CPSD complex, post-traumatic stress disorder or something like that. Have been like, some people from England have had it. It's like they've been in an emotionally abusive relationship and stuff like that. I mean, it's like, some of the little subjects they put in there, like, yeah, I can relate to it, but like it doesn't make up to the fact what happened. So they put in there, like, yeah, I can relate to it, but like it doesn't make up to the fact what happened. But like they've got a lot of support. They've got a lot of hate mail, a lot of phone calls, a lot of like stuff like that. I wish that never happened. But they did some support, which is good. But on the phone, they did some support, which is good. But on the phone, they still think, there's a chance that I could get out.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to think your kids going away forever.
Yeah.
They just tell me to fight it like, they just tell me to fight it like, not every day, but on their bad days, they'll get a bad message or a bad letter, and they'll just kind of revert back.
Is it more your mom or your dad?
My mom, she loses it a lot. On the phone, my dad's usually trying to, hey, don't talk about it. Because it's just going to rile you up, and it's going to make him go back to his cell, and he's going to just kind of think about that all night.
Right.
And that's what happens a lot.
Would you ever want them to know what you're telling us today?
I'd rather just tell them myself.
Yeah.
Except they're coming, I think they're going to try to make
They still think that Shanann killed the girl.
They still believe that, even though I told them I pled guilty for a reason, but they think that I was, their words like railroaded by really gay. Because they felt like they pressured me to do it.
Yeah.
And this is like, they wanted to fight. Like if I said fight, they would have just, gotten me.
Found their gloves?
Yeah. Just went in there and did it. And I said, no, I can't have you do that.
So Chris, you care about others deeply, I can tell. You worry about others, a bunch of times today, but you're not just telling us that you did it because you feel bad for Shanann's memory. You did it? Okay.
I have to say, after this was all over, people would bring up, oh my gosh, I bet you're going to find out that Chris, just imagine, hearing that someone's capable of that, what have they done in the past, those kinds of things. Can you think back to your past at all, like your childhood, and think about any other moments that maybe you felt the same rage? I mean, obviously you didn't do anything like that, but maybe you felt that rage, and what would have triggered that, or anything like that?
Not really. I mean, I was always somebody that tried to coax people down, not to if somebody wanted to fight somebody else. I didn't get in a fight when I was in 3rd grade, but it was we ripped each other's shirt and we were crying. It was stupid. I was like, why did I do that? And it was stupid. I was like, why did I do that? And maybe that was my only bad thing I did in school. So I can't think of that.
Did you feel it on the inside, whether you didn't act it out? Did you feel like if someone bullied you at school, or if someone whatever, would it still be inside you? If someone bullied you at school, or if someone whatever, would it still be inside you? Would you feel like that even though you didn't actually act on it?
I don't do this because I was always, I never really talked to many people. So people knew who I was, but I never really spoke to many people. That's why I never had a girlfriend in high school, and I was always kind of really spoke to many people. That's why I never had a girlfriend in high school, and I was always kind of just under the radar.
Did you feel like you had low self-esteem?
I won't say low self-esteem. It was just I didn't want to be a part of a group or a clique. I just I had a couple friends. I sat at the lunch table with them, or sat out and they called the fish friends. I sat at the lunch table with them, or sat out and they called the fish pond area, and just chilled out there. And I didn't really want a whole lot of friends. Just kind of just close knit. I just wasn't out there. I mean, like I said, people knew who I was, but it wasn't kind of like I was popular or anything.
Can you attribute that to anything in your childhood?
My sister was always the popular one. She was more like my mom, more outgoing. Me and my grandma would always sit outside in middle school waiting for her to come out and pick her up, and she'd always be the last one out. She'd talk, is she really leaving? But I was just the opposite of her. And I was sometimes you have kids that are the same, and some you have opposite. Me and my sister were pretty opposite. Maybe I just drew on that I didn't want to be the popular one. I wanted to be just a regular guy. So they really came up to me or wanted to fight me or
Got made fun of, or...
No, I mean, I I had braces and I had like a bowl cut for a while. I guess because I just went make props of that.
80s and 90s were cool.
Jim Carrey crap with a bowl on your head.
All right.
Around, but yeah, it was something that would be pent up inside me from childhood.
I know you talked about your dad having an addiction when I was talking to you.
That was after I left. I left home.
Was it cocaine or something?
It was some type of powder. I'm not sure if I guess it's cocaine. I guess
How do you think that affected you?
But if it didn't like take like deep down, it didn't like really hurt as much as I thought it would. It was kind of weird because when my mom and my sister told me, like when they talked to me about it, it didn't seem registered. Like I said, like he would interchange subject, and like when I talked about it, he eventually immediately changed subject. He's and stuff where he would like separate it and stuff like that. Because car dealership, I mean, you can find guys that do that kind of stuff all the time, I guess. But he was just coping with, like, I never came back home. And just before I met Shanann, and it was just,
Did you feel guilty that he's now using drugs because he never came back home like he lost his kid?
you know, I never really knew why he was doing it. After the fact, because he was coping with that. But I never knew why he really actually turned to drugs when my wife. I never knew why he really actually turned to drugs when my wife was having an affair because all this money was going somewhere else instead of drugs. But like I'm not myself, I never used drugs. So I always try to tell him like, hey, like what's going on? Like why do you need to use this? And just like you could use this for a whole lot better than why you need to use this. And just like you could use this for a whole lot better things. You know, just don't throw your life away. I mean, like, because you can see in his face, like, you know, it's like eyes, like everything's getting like, you know, like the blood's through your face and like, your skin's getting all loose and like you're losing a lot of weight. His nose is bleeding all the time and like you're losing a lot of weight. His nose is bleeding all the time and stuff like that. And so I'm like, hey, you know, you smoke like every day of your life since you're like 15 or 16. Like, you know, I can't get you to stop that, but I can get you to stop this. He put it away, I guess, pretty quick after I talked to him about it. He put it away, I guess, pretty quick after I talked to him about it.
You think you were closer to your dad than your mom?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always went to races together, and
Yeah.
you know, he always trained my sports, played for a couple school sports, rec ball, all that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
My mom would come to sometimes, and my dad was always there.
Always there. Yeah.
Even if I wasn't playing, he'd just come there just in case I can't win him there.
Oh.
So, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I wondered if they hadn't visited because they weren't ready to visit, or if it was a money thing, or, you know, like, yeah, visit here.
Well, I just told him, like, we're coming out in snow, so it's kind of like, you know, I don't want, it's
These
just,
roads are bad.
yeah, it's, I think it's like an hour from his. I told him, like, wait till springtime.
Good advice.
Yeah.
It's pretty brutal.
It was yesterday.
They stole my food. Yeah, so they'll come out here and, like, they said April, but I was like, you know, just maybe push it till June. They said they come somehow have a blizzard out here in April.
Yeah.
So the lake effect sucks. Crazy.
Yeah.
How
It is.
are you doing mentally?
I mean, first time when I was at the RDC, like, out of school, I was there a week. Like, first day I got there, they put me through the ringer. Like, I had, like, 11 tests to do. Like mental tests, like reading, math, all kinds of stuff, just to see where my IQ was. And then I just sat there the rest of the week, and then Sunday came along, and after dinner, they said, hey, and walked outside and put me in, and it's like, yeah. I had no idea what was going on. And then we stopped in Sterling, which really freaked me out. So I was just like, I don't want to do this, because I heard so many horror stories about that place.
Mm-hmm.
And they just stopped producing bathrooms, and then we kept going.
In the prison? Do they use the bathroom in the prison?
Yeah, we went to Nebraska, sheriff's office there, and another sheriff's office in Iowa, just back in breakfast, and then got here. And I asked him, I only talked to him once, I'm like, can you tell me, like, where we're going? Like, it's the destination state? He was like, I don't know. Just the middle where I was sitting there, and I could see out the window, and I could see, like, they would put in an address each time. Like they had like 4 sets of addresses each one they had to go to. They just would never tell me where we were going to end up.
What did they say your IQ was?
I was like 140.
Is that high? I don't even know what it
It's pretty good.
Above average.
Yeah.
It was coming back to high school for real. Like,
Trains to parts of the city and all that stuff.
yeah, there was a lot of work problems, a lot of like geometry, a lot of like patterns. Like if this was moved this way, and then it was like a series of them, like stuff like that. But like the further you got along, the harder it got. I was just like, it's like great. It was like they give you this little take that pen and take the little tube out in the middle, and that's what you're using to fill in your little Scantron sheets and everything. I felt like it was high school, yeah.
Do you know how long you're going to be here? And do you know, are you going to get a job?
Since I'm staying here, or since I've got staff here, they have to work.
Oh, so what's your job now?
I don't have one yet.
Okay.
They haven't moved me out of the acceptance and evaluation process. So right now, like, since I've been staff here, I'm just waiting for them to move me over to a different unit.
And are you in Pop right now?
No, I'm in a unit, there's like 11 or 12 of us on there. There was like 22 when I first got there, but they've been transferred to the other prisons around.
So what are the other guys like?
They're fine. They're fine. Like the first time, like I sat out and ate like a breakfast or lunch with them, I was
You're nervous?
yeah, I was just like, this hasn't happened, like, since, I just never happened.
Yeah.
Like I said, they locked the, I just never happened.
Yeah.
Like I said, they locked the hallways down when I moved to Colorado.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
So it was like, being next, like this, eating next to somebody, I was just like, you gonna like pick a sport and try to stab me or something, or what? But it's totally different here. I mean, stab me or something, or what? But it's totally different here. I mean, people know who I am, but like they don't like run at me or jump at me or like. Apparently, the guys that work here, they know that I guess other maxes are like you can lock down like 23, 20, so like you can lock down like 23, 22 hours a day.
Oh, so then this isn't all that place to be?
For like other max guys.
Good.
They said it's the best max for the worst medium.
Oh.
Because if you're max, you're working, so you're out of your cell working like if you're a clerk, or if you're max, you're working, so you're out of your cell working like if you're a clerk, or if you're in the kitchen, or if you're in the rec area, you're doing something.
Okay.
But they said like if you get staff here, it'll be best for you. Plus they say it's not as like rowdy as some of the other places.
Yeah.
That's pretty intense.
So like I'm going to the GP area. I just don't know when.
And you think it'll be while you're here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They said like I guess it could take it takes a while to get moved from max to medium because in Colorado I was classified as minimum restrictive, max is max.
And what are the other guys in for, do you know?
They said most guys in here are like gang snitches and sex offenders and mainly people that have 20 years or more.
So people who were in for a long time and who would otherwise have a pretty hard time at a jail. Children or...
Yeah, there's some people from other states here as well. And, I guess there's a couple cops here too.
Okay.
Just things have happened and they just don't think it'd be better. It'd be a lot better if they're here and not in another prison.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what kind of jobs are available? I mean,
They have me at the kitchen, or like that's where everybody starts out, like either washing dishes or like putting food on the trays or helping pots and pans, something like that.
right.
But they have like libraries. They have like I think this is the PSU area, the psych area, so they'll have like different guys doing clear over like 300 GP guys here that are like live here. So they have a job for every one of them.
Wow.
There's even a guy that shovels the sidewalks.
Yeah, we saw him. Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy.
You're not here.
Do you go to therapy? Do you have see a psychologist?
Her name's like Javier or something like that. She seems like once a month. She's actually from Florida.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird. I walked in, I saw a Bronco flag. I'm like, okay, who are you? But, yeah, it's...
Does she give you therapy, or?
No, she just, like, talks to me just to see if... Yeah, it's...
Does she give you therapy, or?
No, she just, like, talks to me just to see if I need anything, or if, like, if I need psych meds, or if I need anything like that, which I've declined all that stuff. But most people in my unit have meds. That's
Just
what...
to have them, or do you pick me up?
Well, it's like a special management unit. Like, they just put me on there to keep me away from GP. It's like a special management unit. Like, they just put me on there to keep me away from GP. And, like, most people either, like, just have, like, some, like, medication on.
You don't take anything?
No. They just keep me on there until the security advisor says, you know, you can get moved to GP on home.
What kind of stuff?
GP on home.
What kind of stuff like food and stuff do you miss most from the outside?
Food? Well, I know from, you know, my last time in North Carolina, Bojangles, that was really good. I don't know if you guys ever go to North Carolina? I know.
Is that barbecue?
It's like this chicken and biscuits. I know.
Is that barbecue?
It's like this chicken and biscuits. And that barbecue place down the street from the PD.
Mm-hmm. Smokehouse,
Yeah.
Georgia Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have burn ends, I miss that. And just, you know, I miss Shanann's cooking. That's for sure. Like her spaghetti sauce and fried pizza.
Yeah.
Cooking. That's for sure. Like her spaghetti sauce and fried pizza.
Yeah.
Fried pizza.
I haven't heard of that. What is
I've
that?
never heard of that.
Her mom has, or I think it was her mom, her grandmother on her mom's side had this like this dough, homemade dough you can make, and just makes less sometimes. So she makes a little smaller one, but she makes a really big one, and then she would put it in the oven, the bottom oven, let it sit there for a couple hours, not put it on or anything, just let it rise, and then once it's done, take it out, form it, throw the spaghetti sauce she has, spread it around, and
But what part of it is fried though?
well, they have some parts you can put on the grill, you can
Okay.
put it on the stove too.
Okay.
It's really good. I mean, it's really thick,
Yeah.
so you got
Apparently we need this.
Yeah. I will work on that.
Yeah, write a note.
Nobody's getting any fights. You're not getting written up for anything. You're not getting.
I'll try to keep a little bit probably. I don't want to. Because they say if you get like 2 contact reports, they'll ship you out if you work here. They don't want
To another location.
Yeah.
Oh, so then, does that incentivize people to put their nose down?
Yeah.
Okay.
How we got it then?
Hey,
Yeah.
like that stuff just baffles my mind how that stuff gets to...
I mean, they won't even let, like, if somebody sends me a letter and it has, like, even, like, someone sent me a Christmas card with glitter on it. Well, let me have it because it's glitter.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's contraband. So, like, yeah, I don't know how people get cell phones. It's like, most of them, like, I just have, like, this, if somebody writes me once, I'll never write them. Just because I don't know, like, who they are, like, where they're from. I'll keep it. If it's like a weird letter, I'll straight up throw it away. If it's like a supportive letter, I'll keep it around just like a supportive letter. Like a second and third time, but they change the way they talk, or like they said different things. Like there's like this dude in like California that wrote me. He's a senior in high school. And he wrote, he's like, okay, dude. I look at the name, like, okay, totally different. Like, never mentioned, like, his age, never mentioned it, saying, like, hey, like, I support you, I'm, like, all this, like that. Like, if I didn't recognize his name, I wouldn't have known, like, he was just an 18-year-old kid, senior, trying to just, like, probably just get information. Trying to, you know, there's been, like, journalists and, like, other people, like, try to, like, take into effect who's writing me, and, like, just not to respond. Like, I haven't responded to a few people, just because, like, either my parents have talked to them on the outside, and then I kind of know, okay, it's a real person. But, like, there's some people that, like, it seems like they're just trying, like, to get help from themselves, too. Like, some people ask, like, you know, like
Asking for spiritual advice from you.
yeah, like, you know, if they're not asking about the case, I'll write them back. If they ask about the case, I'll write them back.
Yeah.
You think you'll be in love with him? There's a lot of women out there that are in love with you.
No. I've heard enough about that guy.
What have you heard about him?
Yeah, I can gauge over a letter.
Okay.
That's pretty insane. But yeah, I don't see myself.
Yeah. Tell me that they're on the game and stuff.
Well, I've had a couple letters with them, like, you know, I hear you get a lot of letters from, like, some lady friends that tell you all you need to know. I'm like, I don't get those letters. Trust me, like, I guess there was one letter in Colorado, someone sent me a picture of them in the Jeep. And it was like, it went on from there. Sent me a picture of them in the Jeep. And it was like, it went on from there. That was like the only letter I ever got. That was like that. But the press took it and just left it.
Yeah.
Did you ever get a request from the press?
Hmm?
And how does that work?
Tear it up.
Are you personally or declining?
Well, I don't like, you know, kind of back.
Are you personally or declining?
Well, I don't like, you know, kind of back.
Would they allow you to talk with you? Would they allow a major to talk with you?
I don't know. I guess some of the refs could come in here and talk to me, but they have told them no.
Oh.
But they're, I've gotten letters from like, you know, Denver legislative.
Oh.
But they're, I've gotten letters from like, you know, Denver legislative stations and whatnot want to talk to me. And then quotation marks off the record. I'm like, yeah, right. Anything I write.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep. So, yeah, I just tear it up over there.
Have you thought about like writing a book?
So, yeah, I just tear it up over there.
Have you thought about like writing a book or anything like that?
No, that's, you know, nothing like that. My mom and dad decided with it.
No, but
My mom and dad saying maybe you should like write down like how you feel or like, you know, how you've been dealing with this type thing. You should write or like, you know, how you've been dealing with this type thing. You should write it down and that would be my story. But I'm just like, I'm not, like, that's not me. I mean, I've always had a really crazy imagination. So like when I was a kid, like I even convinced my teacher I was going to get the panel or something. But she said, you know, like, you know, you just write down like, you know, your story, like how you cope with this.
why did you convince your teacher to go to the training?
It was just like what you did over the summer, and I said, oh, China. I started writing. She actually believed it. I was really convinced. So it was on the parent-teacher conference. I said, so how was China? Nope.
So earlier you were talking about how this experience you're going to want to help people. What do you mean by that?
So like just a couple letters that I've gotten, like this one girl, she's in like an application with God, and like I never read the Bible before all this. Like in Will County, I read it. Just, you know,
Right.
and the segregation hole there, it was like that was the only book I got. And I was like, okay. I read it cover to cover. And I never thought I could. I mean, how many pages are in the Bible? But
Right.
here, like I got the conversion here. I just been reading it, just writing down like a couple scriptures a day, like to get to my mom and dad. They've been like making a little journal and stuff like that. And my Uncle Johnny and his wife Martha, they're actually missionaries. And my mom and dad, they looked at a couple of my letters, and they were amazed at how mature I've gotten with like the Bible and everything, and Scripture. And it just like one gift that I did get was a good memory, as far as like being able to memorize stuff.
Right.
And like that's what happened with cars and with the older book, and I can memorize acronyms like that. And I've been memorizing a lot of different Scripture. I can just kind of like help people that way. And just like there's been inmates that have left my unit and went to a different place and have written me and just asked like, you know, can you give me a couple of scriptures to help me through this? Like, you know any? And I just, I can help somebody that way. Help me through this. Like, you know any? And I just, I can help somebody that way.
Yeah. That's good.
Do you guys go to school or anything?
They don't have any else programs there. It's a acceptance or evaluation prison, so they don't. I think this is when they have the subsequent class evaluation prison, so they don't. I think this is when they have the subsequent class in here. That's the only thing they really have.
Are you going to go to that?
No. No, I always ask, like, why do people go in there? And they're like, you don't want to go in that class.
I'll be steward.
Okay. I'm like, okay. Yeah,
I'll be steward.
Okay. I'm like, okay. that's the only thing they have here, but they have other, like, that's like the map of the prisons they have here.
Yeah, looking at that earlier.
They have a lot here.
Yeah, like 3 right in this area.
I was just amazed that one thing I did see out the window when I first, there was like a neighborhood that's right next to the prison.
Yes.
It was like, is that
Same thing.
Yeah.
weird? It's like in Colorado, it seems like they're all like out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
They're in the middle of
Yeah.
nowhere.
Hey. Hey.
Well, we might take a little break right now.
I think it's almost time for you to eat lunch.
Yeah.
But like the polygraph, everything just like.
There you go.
They might let us come back and talk to you. There might be a couple more things we want to go over. If that's something you're up for. Okay. And then the other thing is, we might be back in a month and a year and 2 years if you're up for it. Now that's way down the road, but I guess maybe in the back of your mind, just think about that. And,
Honestly, when I walked in, I was just like, wait, I know
where do I know these guys?
I looked at you, I'm like that's not the psych counselor. That's, oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
They're Colorado people.
So I looked past that A&E sergeant. I was like, all right, with my meeting, I go, it's not the A&E sergeant.
Yeah. So I just want to let you know, but you might. We really appreciate you talking to us.
Thanks for coming. Total took me off guard. I had no idea this was that.
Yeah. And again, this isn't it. The case is over, closed, so that's not what today's about. We really appreciate it. You did a lot of things. Obviously, we're here because of one bad decision, but I think that you've taken steps to get past that. So, yeah, we might come back after lunch. That's all right.
That's fine.
Okay. Cool. I'm going to go see if I can grab somebody.
I think I have a better drive.
I think you probably did too.
Mine was like 50 minutes, so it was like 2 hours.
Yeah, with the snow and
Lake effect, not more.
yeah, and the wind's blowing.
Not like when like Colorado then.
So it's a hell of a lot colder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The roads aren't getting cleared like they
yeah, it just comes in and just dumps.
Colorado it just melts within a couple hours.
Right.
Honestly, I haven't seen it melt here.
Well, that's the thing, everyone's
Yeah, it's
houses
piles.
are piled, you know,
Yeah.
so much snow and it's awful. It doesn't look like anything else.
No. Okay.
You guys go outside for rounds or anything? Or
No, not when it's has to be over 50 degrees.
you'll be out for a while.
No, they have like a little basketball court down the hall from where my unit is, so we get a chance to just get out and just run around a little bit, just stretch my legs a little bit.
Any weights or anything you can use? Or?
There's some ways, we go with another unit, and they're the infirmary unit that goes with us, and most of them are like in wheelchairs and whatnot.
Mhm.
So kind of like, I just let them do, get in the way, just like let them, like, they have a row machine and stuff like that, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they have like a track or something like that you can run around.
Yeah.
Once we go outside. Colorado, they let you go outside. Like, I never went outside, but like at the BRDC, they just said, "Do you want to go outside? Let's go outside. That's cold." Wait, you want to wreck today? You're like, no. Like, no, it's like 30 degrees outside. You can go outside if you want.
Yeah.
But their version of wreck was like they put you out in a little cage and let you like kind of walk around for a little bit at the BRDC. So it's a little different there.
If we don't want to come back, I just want to let you know. I talked to your dad the other day, and just to get your property released to him.
Oh, the phone and stuff?
Yeah, your phone and what else did you have? Your wallet.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have some other things too. So, but I have to wait for the DA to release all that stuff and
Okay.
red tape crap. So
Gotcha.
then we'll release all that stuff and
Okay.
red tape crap. So
Gotcha.
then we'll send it off to him.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you wanted my phone. Just to
Yeah.
pictures on that.
That's what he said. Yeah.
I think I had that phone since like 2016, so there's a good amount on there.
Yeah.
If we don't make it back,
So there's a good amount on there.
Yeah.
if we don't make it back today, it's simply because of some of the scheduling. It's not that we don't want to talk to you some more.
It's fine.
There's more things we can't talk about.
Okay.
But if we don't make it back, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, it's a holiday, so I figured that. Yeah, it's a holiday, so I figured they'd be pretty much open.
Yeah.
So I didn't see many people walking through the hallways when I came down here. Usually there's a ton.
Oh, visitors or what?
No, just a ton of people, just like workers walking up and down.
Oh, I see.
Parks.
Yeah, I did some sparse it.
Just like workers walking up and down.
Oh, I see.
Parks.
Yeah, I did some sparse it.
That's one thing I was shocked about when I walked around here. I was always used to seeing everybody handcuffed walking around the hallways. Here, walking up and down.
That is interesting, man. I thought the same thing. I couldn't tell who was who.
Yeah, it's like,
You can't necessarily
you
tell.
got, you see the red tag, it's like,
You can't necessarily
you
tell.
got, you see the red tag, it's like an inmate, but somebody else, somebody that works here.
Oh.
Or like someone that's like actual civilian that works here.
So then you're not in shackles and handcuffs that often?
I haven't been since I got here.
You're kidding. Huh.
That's why I was amazed. I was like, when the guy took me in the hallway, I was like, that's my psych counselor was saying, this isn't max when she first got here. It's like, no, it's something. It's just like, you know, if you want to act up, they'll put
Don't
you in.
abuse it. You'll learn those shackles back.
Oh yeah, they'll put you in handcuffs, take you to the hole,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then they'll ship you out of here.
They have a solitary here.
Oh yeah, they'll strap you out to a bed.
Oh, yeah? Sure. Yeah. Behave, right?
Yeah, it's like don't pass food, don't pass anything that's not yours. Otherwise you're gonna.
Do you read a violent commentary and stuff?
It's different here. It's like a bubble sheet. Instead of like Colorado, it's like a little touch screen you do. So here it's like a little Scantron. You send it off. So it just takes longer to get here. Yeah, I just
Like what kind of stuff do you buy?
like ramen soup and peanut butter and oatmeal, like lemonade mix, stuff like that. So I usually skip the oatmeal and ramen soup.
Do your parents live when you're both sick?
Yeah, I'm not sure how like that running on the canteen will probably like it'll take a little bit of it too.
Oh, yeah. That's right here. Okay, great.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, thank you.